who's requesting.
All right, the time is now 1 p.m. If you can hear me and see my screen, can you please type yes in the chat? Thank you, thank you. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Antiqua Hunter, your State Parent and Family Engagement Coordinator here at the Louisiana Department of Education. And it is indeed an honor to be with you all on today to share with you a very innovative and exciting platform, which is entitled PimsPoints. You know, during our time today, and I know many of you were with me this morning during our Be Engaged session. If I have anyone that's joining just right now, can you please type in the chat just joining so I can be aware of how much overview I need to provide before we get into the session on today. Okay, so I see that we do have some new people that were not with us on this morning. So I will provide, I ask that those of you that were with me, that you just bear with me as we get through our overview content before I turn over the floor to Mr. LaVelle Seals, the CEO of PimsPoint, to start to share with you more information about the platform. All right, so during our time on today, it is my hope to build your capacity on the Be Engaged initiative, as well as provide some technical assistance of helping you guys get your LEA set up in the PimsPoint system. So here at the Louisiana Department of Education, you know, we have a very strong belief system, and our beliefs are listed here. You know, we believe that children are our highest priority. We believe that equity matters. Families are our partners. We believe that choice expands opportunities. Educators are valued professionals. Schools are invaluable to communities. Graduates must be ready to learn. And if we do all of those things, we truly believe that our future will be bright. When we talk about why are we focusing on parent and family engagement at this level, because for so many years, the State Department, you know, has been silent when it comes to meaningful and constantly engaging parents at this level. Well, we ask, why are we doing it? This slide by itself provides you with all of that information, and it pretty much paints the picture of why we have to do what we're doing. In the first column there, you will see where our students are academically. You can see that in kindergarten, we have only about 40% of our students on grade level when it comes to performance on the literacy assessments. You can see where we are with third grade, less than 50% are on grade level across the state. When it comes to third grade math, look at the numbers. Eighth grade, less than 50%. And when it comes to eighth grade math, we're at 28% of our students are on grade level when we're talking about math performance. So we definitely see the need for parent and family engagement. I mentioned earlier in the early session, if you were having problems with your tooth, you had a toothache, you would probably go to a dentist to receive some type of relief, some type of aid. If you were having problems with your heart, you would probably go to a cardiologist to receive some type of assistance. If you had issues with your skin, you would probably go to a dermatologist to receive some type of aid. But why is it that we look at the numbers that are on the slide, the first column, but we fail to include a very, very important piece of the puzzle, which are parents and families. So that's why we're doing the things that we're doing at the measure that the measures that we're taking, because this is a critical situation that needs some critical attention, all right? When it comes to what our parents are saying, we launched a parent and family engagement survey back in May, late May, early June, and over 26,000 parents responded to this survey. And the parents are saying we need better relationships with the schools, with the districts. We need better communication, and not just any type of communication, but we're needing communication in regards to how our students are performing, the progress that's being made. So we know now that we have to implement ongoing, consistent, regular, meaningful communication with parents. They are requesting it. Not only that, the parents are saying that, they appreciate when we involve them on policy work groups, when we involve them during our school-wide planning meetings. However, they're needing more. They're needing their capacity built to be able to engage in meaningful ways. So a lot of them may not fully understand what we're talking about when we start to talk about mandates and all of those things. So there's a need to provide some type of training prior to the actual meeting where we're asking them to vote on such critical issues. Very important. We know that when it comes to federal mandates, Title I is the birthplace of parent and family engagement. We hear a lot about it. It's showing up in Title I. However, it also appears all throughout other titles. Title III, Title IX, Homeless Assistance Act. It's interwoven throughout the law, showing the necessary need to involve parents and families. When we talk about research and best practices, okay, when we talk about research and best practices, what does the research show? It says between 75% and 85% of a child's waking hours are spent outside of the influence of school. So if they are spent, that much time is being spent outside of our influence, this is why it's so much more important to bridge the gaps and form these informative relationships, important relationships with families, because they're the ones that's really with the child and helping to foster a lot of the skills. We talk about 21st century skills. They're listed here on the slide. Things that are needed to become a 21st century learner. Where do you think goal setting first starts? When a parent is saying, hey, if you can keep your room clean for the entire week, on Friday, we'll go and get ice cream. That's starting in the home. So parents, it's our job to ensure that parents understand how they're making such a significant impact on a child when they come to us in our early child care centers, when they come to us in kindergarten, ready to learn. Letting the parents know this is how you are impacting your child's future. Goal setting, when we talk about having intuitive thinking. We know kids, they ask their parents a lot of questions. Mommy, why? They're nurturing those 21st century skills, but do they even know that? That's why we have to shift the conversation. And we're launching our statewide Be Engaged initiative. And it aligns with our priorities. You can see them listed here. We definitely want to remove any type of barriers that might exist. Whether it's language barriers, we want to work on in reducing those barriers that might exist. Whether it's an attitude shift that needs to take place, whatever it takes to get everyone on board to be engaged, we have to do it. To ensure that every child, when we say all children, every child, we're talking about Johnny, we're talking about Sally, we're talking about Reggie, we're talking about every single child, we're talking about Jose, every single student having that opportunity to learn and for their parents and families to be engaged. Not only that, we need to cultivate high impact systems and structures and partnerships that will drive the change that we're wanting. So Be Engaged, that is the title of the initiative. Of course, it takes a village to make this happen. So whatever seat you're in, I don't care if it's the guy at the gas station on the corner, how can we get everyone to be engaged? When we talk about parent and family engagement, the definition of parent and family engagement is an empowering partnership. Okay, so it's not just one person. It's a partnership that exists amongst families, educators, practitioners, and the community. So it takes everyone. We all have a shared responsibility I can't do it by myself. You can't do it by yourself. And a lot of times we launch a lot of great programs, but it's a one-person driven program. And it dies out because the person gets burnt out. So that's why it takes collective impact effort. We talked about that this morning, to bring everyone together. It's a shared responsibility to ensure the personal success of children and youth. So it's doing whatever it takes to get that child to graduation day. And we don't just want them to graduate. We want them to be a productive, successful citizen. But in the meantime, let's just focus on getting the child to graduation day, because that's so important. All right, so there are 4 overall goals when it comes to the Be Engaged initiative. We want to, 1, raise awareness. Raise awareness on the importance of parent and family engagement. Make sure that parents know what it is. Do they know the difference between involvement and engagement? There is a big difference. Involving a parent is at the very basic level, Engaging a parent is empowering the parent, looking at them as a co-partner, working together. We want to meaningfully engage stakeholders to gain input. We gave to you or presented to you our birth through 12 framework earlier today. That's one way that we meaningfully engage stakeholders. One of the things, the 6 overarching things, says implement meaningful communication. Going back and forth, that's going to help that particular goal. We want to construct platforms that ignite engagement, and we want to cultivate engagement that energizes the learner, and we want them to be successful. This slide here shows you everything that the Louisiana Department of Education has done thus far to support the Be Engaged initiative. And as you can see, there are a list of things here that we have done to help support. One of the things at the bottom, we are launching PimsPoints. Now, what I want to point out to you is that PimsPoint is one thing on the list of things that we're doing. So when we talk about Be Engaged, you have Be Engaged is the initiative, is what we're trying to do. And PimsPoint is one way of how we're going to accomplish that. Someone asked earlier on the during the Be Engaged webinar, how do we get the parents engaged? Well, PimsPoint is one way of giving you an opportunity to engage parents in an exciting way. So you might say, Dr. Hunter, why PimsPoint? Because we do so much at the district. Can we just utilize what we already have in place? Well, once you see all of the great things that PimsPoints has to offer, you'll see why the Department of Education has invested over $2 million to ensure that you have this free of charge at your access, at your disposal. So it's free to all school systems. So all you have to do is learn how to use it and put it to use. So when we talk about PimsPoints, we know that it is a notification system, all right? You can access it via cell phone or the computer. And it's basically you're downloading an app. And when you download an app, they're able to get into the system at that point. Now, I'm not going to go into details with you because that's what Mr. Seals will do as he comes, but the banner is what you see on the left-hand side of the screen. We've already paid for those. It's going to be delivered to every single school in the state. So the banner will come. That's a way of advertising to parents. You can place it in your school, the main office, or wherever parents might be. If you're, hosting an event at open house or a parent-teacher conference, you can put that out to drive traffic to the mobile app when it's time. But when we talk about PimsPoints, okay, and why this is such a unique platform and how it differs from what you currently might be using. It is innovative, all right? We know that technology is just here to stay. It's here to stay. Everybody's connected. Everybody's connected. And so this is one of the innovative ways to meet the parents where they are. PimsPoint provides LDOE parents with an opportunity to engage with all stakeholders. So it's not just the parents, it's the business owners in the community, because remember, we're talking about the collective impact. So it's a way to allow them to be engaged. If they're asking, how can I be engaged? This is one way where the parent, if I attend a math night, I might earn 10 points. If I attend parent-teacher conference, I might earn 15 points. And so what we do is partner with a local business. Pizza Hut might say, okay, for 30 points, you can earn a free pizza. So the parent is able to redeem those points for an incentive or coupon that's been put in the system. So that's why it's important. We're able to engage. Not only that, with the LEAs, you guys are able to do things. You might say, well, Dr. Hunter, I'm in a position where we're in a rural area. We don't have a whole lot of businesses to put coupons into the system. Well, you can do things at the LEA level. You might say, okay, for 30 points, we're going to host a family staff basketball game. And parents can earn points to attend that game. So there's ways to bring everyone to the table and engage. Not only that, it's incentive-based, which ignites participation. We all know that we work a little bit harder when we have an incentive. When I'm working out with my trainer, if he says, okay, after you get past this last exercise, we will be done for the day. Well, I'm probably going to put forth a little extra effort because I know this is it. After I do that, I've been told I can go. We've done it in the past. Look at Liberty cards. That's incentives. Look at PBIS. That's incentives. So we're making it just a more formalized way where parents can access it, because we do a lot of things to incentivize students, but what have we done for the families? It is multi-dimensional, and that's what I really like about it as well. You know, the parents are able to earn points for attending events, all right? A Friday night football game, they attended, they earn points. Like I said, a parent-teacher conference attended, get points. A webinar, because with COVID, we got to worry about sometimes not being face-to-face. So we now can host science webinars. If they attended, they earn points, all right? But what I want to let you know, they get points for providing feedback. So you can send out a survey through PimsPoints, brief survey. If you want to ask 2 or 3 questions, you can send it out. The parent completes the survey, earns points. If the parent, there are engagement tasks, learning tasks that are aligned to Louisiana state standards. So if I'm a teacher and I'm working on fractions in my classroom, I can go into the system, find that activity that correlates with the standard, send it out to my class roster. The parent gets one problem. It's not a worksheet, it's nothing like that, but it's an activity they can do at home with their child. They complete that activity and earn points. Not only that, there's an administrative side to PimsPoints, meaning if there's a document that you need signed, and we know a lot of times we send things home and we never see them again. So if there's a document that you might need signed, you can upload it into PimsPoint. The parent gets the notification in the app, signs it digitally, sends it back. You automatically have the documentation that you need. So when I say something is multifaceted, what I'm saying is that you may have a parent that can't do the learner task. You know, we have some parents, let's face it, that might struggle with reading. So they may not be able to engage with learner tasks, but they can attend a Friday night football game. Well, they get rewards for that level of engagement. You might have a hardworking parent that can't attend a football game. They can't be there for a math night that particular night. But guess what? I can be engaged by responding to a survey that you sent out. I can be engaged by signing a document, sending it back. So they're still receiving some type of rewards at that level. So that's why I said it's multifaceted. It allows for customizations for your target audience. So you know the parents in your area and what gets them excited. You can customize it. The type of coupons you put in the system can correlate with what's a hot item in your area. Everybody has a different target audience. So it allows customization. There's not one silver bullet that will go for all, right? It appeals to it's COVID friendly, like I said before. You know, we've had some districts say we weren't able to do parent engagement because of COVID. Well, that's putting parent engagement in a box, meaning it can only happen if it's face-to-face. And what we're asking and challenging you to think outside of the box to say, okay, what can we do in light of this pandemic? And PimsPoints allowed you to have that platform to constantly still be engaged, foster relationships, even in the midst of a pandemic. It provides economic relief to families through coupons. A lot of families are facing difficulties financially. Some of us are facing difficulties financially due to the impact of COVID. So partnering with local businesses allows us to have some type of relief. So it doesn't just stick to the socioeconomic status, all right? It promotes partnerships within the community, and that's important. Now, I will say this before we move forward. You know, you might ask, well, Dr. Hunter, is this something that we only do for our Title I schools, or can we do this for all schools? What I would like for you to do is think about, instead of parent and family engagement, think about it in a way of, how do I engage my parents? And let me ask you this. Do you think that there's a need to engage parents at non-Title I schools? And I'll wait for you to respond in the chat. Is there a need to engage parents even at Title I schools, non-Title I schools? Yes, the answer is definitely yes. Now, the issue is when it comes to funding. You might ask yourself, well, how do I distinguish the two? Well, you use Title I funds for your Title I schools. Okay, and then if you're trying to do something general, you can look at your general funds for non-Title I schools. However, PimsPoints is already paid for. Okay, it's paid for. So everyone has access to it. One other thing before I turn it over to Mr. Seals. We know that this is something that's new and something that's innovative. It's going to, anytime you are doing something that's innovative, it's going to take a certain level of commitment. It's going to take a certain level of being open-minded, because it's not something that's comfortable to you because it's new. So I'm asking you to get out of your comfort zone, okay? You're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. It's not business as usual, because we saw the slide with our students' performance. And if there's ever a need to invest our time, our effort, our energy into parent and family engagement, the time is now. You might say, is this mandatory? My question is it necessary? Is it necessary? And the answer is absolutely yes, it's necessary. As we get ready to move forward, I would ask you to think about, once again, we talk about collective impact. You can't do it by yourself. We are having talks with our federal program directors to talk about how we can allocate more resources to additional staff to be able to assist you. So as you go through the app and you learn more about PimsPoints, you're going to need additional support. You can't do it by yourself. So if you say, Dr. Hunter, I wear so many hats. I do too. We all wear a lot of hats, but what we have to do now is think about all of the funding we've received. We've gotten so much money. And so how do we bring on additional staff to assist, to help build capacity? because we don't want to shortchange our parents nor our students because we failed to implement something at the level at which it should be implemented because we just failed to get an extra set of hands to help us out. We can't do it by ourselves, so we're going to have to do things a little bit different. All right. I ask that you evaluate your current practices. If you currently have things in place that you've been utilizing, you know, look at the list. Okay, you may have something that notifies parents, so you might not need that aspect of PimsPoints. As you are introduced to it, think about, okay, things that you can utilize. Look at it as a buffet, okay, a buffet. There's going to be a lot of different features to this program, a lot of different features. And you might utilize A and B, but not need C and D. That's perfectly fine. But utilize what works best for your district. We're not being that prescriptive to tell you, you know, you have to utilize 100% of the program because we know different districts are at different places. However, there are some LEAs that don't have a notification system. So this will work well. So you utilize pieces that work well for your district. And last but not least, we want you to keep the main thing the main thing. As you are moving forward with the entire Be Engaged initiative, keep in mind, we're doing this because we want every child to be successful, every child. And so think about those things. I'm getting ready to turn the floor over to Mr. Seals, but we have to build transformative partnerships with the community. I ask that you get excited because this is an exciting time. You guys are going to start seeing commercials across the TV, hearing about it on the radio, where we are pushing, press releases will be coming out, where we're pushing the words, be engaged, be engaged. And you guys can make it your own. You know, we've given you the entree, you come up with the appetizers and the dessert. At this time, give us a few seconds so I can get things switched over to Mr. Seals, and he will come to share with you PimsPoints.
Hello, Louisiana. My name is LaVelle Seals. I am the CEO of Idle Mind Technologies and creator of PimsPoints mobile and web application. First of all, I'm super excited to be here in Louisiana and partnering with the state and supporting the whole Be Engaged initiative. I know yesterday we were in Lafayette, and I know Dr. Hunter was using the word movement, which is to me a way more powerful word than initiative, because this is definitely a movement, and I admire what you guys are doing down here. And we're excited that we have partnered with you guys and that you guys are utilizing PimsPoints to power this initiative, or should I say movement. So it's a super exciting time right now. I just want to give you a little bit of background before I dive in. And before I actually get started, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat. I have my team members here, Shy and Fred. They're just sitting on the side right here, ready to respond to any questions or concerns or whatever that you have in that chat. So just put in the chat and we will respond. But I want to give you guys a little bit of background on PimsPoints and myself. I am an educator by profession, been in education for 20 plus years. And not to put my age out there, but 20 plus years. And what's unique about my experience right now is that I actually started my educational path or journey right here in Louisiana. I'm a graduate of Xavier University in New Orleans and started my teaching career right there in the St. Bernard community at Voice J. Waters Elementary School, which is no longer there because of Hurricane Katrina. But it's super exciting for me because it's funny how life is 360 degrees sometimes. And I'm right back where I started in education and on a high level. And it's amazing. And again, I'm super excited to be here. A little bit of background on PimsPoints and where did it come from? How did it come about? After I taught a little bit here in Louisiana, I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, and I taught there. I also had a tutoring company. And one day I went to a middle school, and that morning at that middle school, they had a parent, it's sort of like a workshop for parents. And it was in the morning, like 10:30 in the morning. And the purpose of that meeting or workshop was for parents to learn about different information and resources that were available at that time to them and their children. But what was disappointing was that there was only 12 parents at that meeting, but the school had a population of over 700 students. I understand it was in the morning, but I just thought to myself, wow, over 700 students here and only 12 parents are present to receive this information. And after that meeting was over, I spoke with the facilitator of that meeting. And I asked her, I was like, what are your challenges? Why do you only have 12 parents here? And I'm not gonna go deep into that because as an educator and you guys are in education, we know the challenges that parents face and schools face when it comes to getting parents engaged and getting them to come out and get information like the information that was given up in Memphis. So, you know, it was the same old thing. And it's funny, later on that evening, it was just on my mind. And I was just trying to think, what is the solution? Or what is something that can be created to help out school districts and schools in generating higher levels of parent engagement? And just like, it just hit me. It was like, well, what if you had a system that captured everything that we would consider, well, not everything, but most things that we would consider parent engagement? What if we could capture that on one platform and engage those parents and pick up data that would help them out, but also help the schools and the LEAs out to make decisions? And not only make decisions, but have hard data to show a story, to tell their story of their parent engagement and what's going on at their schools. And on the back end of that, I was like, wow, well, what if we could bring the community into it, the business community, and let the business community know about parent engagement and support parent engagement by inputting coupons. And that's what we did. We created a platform that is inclusive of the parent, the schools, from the LEA, and the SEA, as well as the business community, all on one platform with the purpose of helping students achieve. And I think it's an amazing thing. The software is incentive-based, so parents earn points, and we're going to dive into that right now. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and go towards a PowerPoint that I have for you guys. And after we go through the PowerPoint, which is pretty short, just give you an overview of PimsPoints, we're going to then flow into practicing, learning the software and practicing on the software. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Okay, this is an agenda. This would be good for you guys to go ahead and view as I go along with the presentation. Fred did email, one of my team members did email this to you, and I believe he put it in the chat as well. I'm not sure, but he definitely emailed it to you guys. I would advise you guys to go ahead and open it up and just follow along. This is a really good example of how you will flow through, if you had to train your local staff. It's a good example of how you can flow through that and show the different features of PimsPoints. So what is PimsPoints? This is a video, this is an explainer video that will be provided to you guys. We have a toolkit. We're going to provide you guys with a toolkit with all kind of different things that's going to help you guys be successful in your journey. This is just one of the things. I want to play this video because it really speaks to what PimsPoints is and what it does, okay? Bear with me. All right, let's see if we can get this to play again. Bear with me. So it's not playing right now. I don't know if it's the computer that I'm on right now, but we'll come back to that when we get to the toolbox, and hopefully by then we will have figured out why it's not playing. So I'll come back to that. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and move forward. We'll come back to that shortly. Okay, so again, we'll come back to that. But in the meantime, let's discuss the PimsPoints model. So when we developed PimsPoints, we did our research. We identified that parent engagement was beginning to use research to support the idea that parents are the #1 factor in student achievement. So Dr. Joyce Epstein had come up with 6 areas of parent engagement, and we used those 6 areas of parent engagement as a guide to actually construct the system so that it would be specifically for parent engagement. So it's not just a communication system. You know, it's not a messenger or a remind one-on-one. It's way deeper than that. It's inclusive of all those 6 areas of parent engagement. So if you are looking at the screen, you'll see that these colored pieces right here have, you know, the 6 areas of parent engagement in it. And we attached one or more of those 6 areas of parent engagement to a particular function of PimsPoints. All right. So that way we can touch on all of those areas that Dr. Joyce Epstein identified in that research. And again, you guys will also have this PowerPoint in your toolbox, so you have access to this information. So how does PimsPoints work? It consolidates your organization's programs, activities, and sessions, your outreach efforts for efficient mass communication and participation. It also allows you to manage your surveys or your polls. You can share home-based learning tasks, which is a really cool feature. Parents will be able to receive a notification. They'll know what standard that child is working on. They'll have a description of that standard, and they'll have an activity that is aligned with that standard to complete along with their child at home. And of course, they'll get points for that, okay? You will also be able to verify attendance. We're talking about parental attendance. I don't care if it's in London. If you're a parent engagement coordinator and you found out that there is a workshop in London for parents to learn about different things, and you want to send your parents over there to that conference, you can actually set that up in PimsPoints so the parents can register. And so when they get to London, whatever address that event is going to be at, or the conference, they can actually use the mobile app to sign in real time. And you'll actually see that way down here in Louisiana that, hey, the parent has signed in, Here's the signature. Here's the date and time stamp that in which they signed in, all documented, and you're still here in Louisiana. So if you have parent council members at a local restaurant, and your parent council members, you want to make sure that they attendance is documented, and you want to reward them points for being engaged. Cool. Just set it up in PimsPoints. They can register for that. It'll give them a location finder, and we'll see that here in a second. They get to that location, and they just sign in using the app. Okay. Also, notify parents of events, activities, and meetings, and manage that registration. Like I mentioned just a second ago, you can use PimsPoints to manage your registration. Capture electronic signatures. So there's two types of documents that you can put into PimsPoints for parents to sign, verifying that they received it. And we'll get into that. But again, if you have a parent engagement compact agreement, you can set that up in PimsPoints or create it in PimsPoints from scratch, send it out to your parents. They'll view it, sign it, send it back to you, and you have that document with their electronic signature and date stamped already on the document. You can just print it out, email it to someone, or whatever you want to do with it, save it. And of course, the parents get points for being engaged in that way. Okay. So PimsPoints automatically reward points for being engaged. So you don't have to keep track of whether the system is rewarding the parents the points or not. It's all automatic. Everything about it is automatic, right? Participants can earn points for, again, attending different meetings, events, or other activities, completing evaluation surveys, again, home learning tasks, documents. And again, we'll go over all those things here shortly. The point scale. You may be asking yourself, well, how many points are different things worth? Well, just for joining, PimsPoints is going to give your parents 10 points. They can earn 5 points for verifying receipt of documents. Just imagine if just think how you receive a document from FedEx or UPS. All right, you have to sign verifying that you received that. PimsPoints works the same way. You send that document to those parents, they'll sign, and you know that that parent received it because they signed verifying that they received it, date and time stamps. Survey response, 5 points. Attending events. So there's 4 types of what we call programs that activities and sessions fall under. And the first one would be volunteering, which is 25 points. Conferences and meetings, which is 20 points. Workshops and trainings, worth 25 points. Extracurricular activities, like a football game or a school play, those are worth 10 points. Completing learning tasks. If that child is early childhood age 3 through kindergarten, then that parent will get 5 points for every task that they complete. If their child is in grades 1st through 5th, the system will reward them 10 points for each task, learning task that they complete. And if that child is 6th through 12th, that parent will earn 15 points for each learning task that they complete with their child. All right, how are the points accessed? Well, the parents have access to a parent portal, which we call participant portal. That's web-based. They can access their rewards there, and plus all the other communications. They don't have to have a mobile app. They can do a lot of these things right here. I mean, right on the website as well. If they want to access their rewards, again, they can go to the website, or they can just go to the mobile app. There's a reward section in there. They just click on that reward and see what rewards are available and how much those rewards are worth. Okay. The benefits of PimsPoints is effective, it's efficient, it engages participants rather than informing. Again, this is not School Messenger or Remind 101, goes a little bit, well, a lot deeper than that. It's a great way to engage parents and their students' academics. Just imagine a parent knowing what standard that child is on. I know when I was in the classroom, and honestly, if I ask a parent, what standard is your child on? You know, most of the time they wouldn't be able to tell me. They wouldn't be able to tell me that because the schools wasn't providing them with that type of information. But that type of information is valuable because if a parent knows what standard a child is on, they can quickly access that standard, know what standard that child is on, a description of that standard. Then they can go to Google, put that information in and find further activities or tasks that child can do and help them master that particular standard. Connect participants, community in your organization all on one platform. All of your stakeholders. Just imagine that. Every stakeholder will be on one platform with the intentions of trying to help that child be successful and help that parent be more engaged. Demonstrate your city and school district or business engagement activity with real data. Just imagine you're able to, at the local school level, you'll be able to provide reports to your administrators that tell a story. This is what we're doing. No longer will you say, hey, look, we have good parent engagement. She was here yesterday. He was here Friday. Well, prove it. Besides just a signature sheet. PimsPoints will go beyond the signature sheet. It's going to show hours. It's going to show the number of times, what that parent is more involved in, or what they are more engaged in, should I say. Okay. And so with that bit of knowledge right there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. We're going to learn this system, and we're going to give you opportunities to practice while you learn. So I hopefully you guys have a computer that you can work on to practice. We're going to open up another tab and we're going to get started. What I need for you guys to do is go to this website, alpha.pimspoints.com, and we'll put that in the chat. And we'll also enter this username that you see here, LaVelle Seals at PimsPoints.com, and enter this password, get started 1. Everyone is going to do the same thing. We're going to enter the same go to the same website, enter the same username, enter the same password. I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes to get that done, and then we'll go ahead and move forward.
Can you go back and show the website?
Sure, I'm sorry about that. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll give you guys about 1 more minute. Okay, let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to learn how to do is how to manage organizations, locations, and people. The good thing about this is that you guys, organizations will already be populated in PimsPoints. So you really don't have to deal with the organization's information in terms of setting the organization up and all those different things. We're going to have your organizations already in there. We'll have your users, or some of your users are already in there ready to log in. So some of this information will already be in PimsPoints for you. specifically things that have to do with your organization. So what we do want to do though, is we want to discuss locations. So let me set the picture for you. So let's say again that you have activities, of course, that's going to be happening at your school. But what about any activities or sessions that will be happening off school campus, right? How would those parents know where that location is, right? And if they know that location and they get to that location, how would you capture their attendance? Well, with PimsPoints, it has a location finder. So if you enter the location in PimsPoints before you create that session or activity, then that parent will be able to click a button. It'll take them right to that location. Also, if the PimsPoints knows the location of your activity or session, then when the parents get to that location, they'll be able to pull their cell phone out, open up PimsPoints, and sign in. That signature is captured on a pre-generated roster that is created when you created that session. You'll also get that participant's signature, time that they signed in, stamped on that roster, okay? So what we're gonna learn now is how do we create or set up a location in PimsPoints? How do we do that? So we're gonna follow along with me if you can. The first thing I want you to do is go to Setup, right here in your top right corner. Click Setup, and I want you to go down to Organizations. Again, go to Setup, go to Organizations. Okay, once you go to Organizations, click on, or I'm sorry, go to the menu to the far left. There's a gray and black menu button. Click that button and you should see locations in that box. Okay. I want you to click on locations. And you see a table with all kind of locations. And if you scroll through it, you may see some locations that don't have anything to do with a school, but it's just a location that that administrator put in there because that administrator knows that, hey, look, we have things going on there that parents do in, or like meetings, and I want to make sure this location is in there. So when my parent engagement coordinator or whoever sets something up in here, that location can be associated with that particular activity and session. All right, so now let's set that location up. We're going to click the green add button. And you guys, listen, I want to make sure let you guys understand this as well. This is a site, a demo site, a practice site that we created just for the state of Louisiana. So feel free, go ahead and start typing stuff in. You can save it. Some things I may tell you don't save because we don't want to. There's some things we're going to tell you don't save in there. I'll let you know when we get to that point. But with locations, go ahead and you're going to create a location and just save it. You can type in what I'm typing in as well. It's totally fine. So for my location, I'm going to put EBR building. I'll just add education building. All right, so at this location, things happen when it comes to parent engagement. I want to make sure that this location is active. I can deactivate it by just changing it to no. I also want to identify this location as being a location that is not a school. If you want to put a description in there, you can, it's totally fine. It's not going to prevent you from saving this if you don't. All right, you want to then give it the address type. In this case, it would be a physical address. Give it a location. Whatever data you guys put in here, it don't have to be real data. Again, this is just a practice site for you all. So I'm going to put 1111 PimsPoints way. I'm going to give it the city, Baton Rouge, and then I'm going to give it the state, which would be Louisiana, of course. And then I'm going to give it the zip code. Again, the reason why I'm setting this up is because when I create sessions, I want to associate locations with that session so that parents can sign in when they get there. Right here on the end, you notice I put 4 zeros. If you don't know what those 4 digits are for your zip code, just put 0, 0, 0, 0, but you have to put something. It's not going to save if you don't put in, if you just leave nothing, okay? And then save that location. If you notice at the top, you do have hours of operation, but that's not necessary. You don't have to put that information if you want to. So I'm just going to save this location. Once I save that location, I can then search for that location just to make sure it's in there. I can search in this box, search all columns. I can also search each individual column. I can search by whether or not that location is active, whether or not that location is a school. I can search by name of location. Maybe give a couple of words in the description search cell, address, city, and state. Okay, so I'm going to search for that location. Okay. And there it is. Good. I see a lot of you guys putting information in. That's how we're going to practice. It's okay. Put information in there. All right. I'm going to then find that because there's several in here. This is the one that I did on the bottom. If I click edit, it just takes me back to that same window. I can edit that location's information again, deactivate it, things like that. I can also delete that location out of the system if I need to. So what I did was I just showed you guys how to create a location or set up a location with the purpose of that location being available when I set up a session, even if it's just at your school. All right, you can just set the location up. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is I want to show you guys how to set up a user. So let me set the scene for that. Users are administrators, participants are parents. So if you have let's say you have the principal at your school says, hey, look, I need for you, the parent engagement coordinator, since you're an administrator of the system, can you please set me up on the PimsPoints as an administrator? How would you do that? How would you do that? And that's what we're going to learn now. How would you set up additional users? How would you set up additional users, administrative users? And by the way, let me give you an idea of who administrative users would be and what type of role they would play. Let's start with teachers. A teacher could be a user because they may want to send tasks. They're very familiar with the standards, right? It's not necessarily something that a parent engagement coordinator might just be familiar with off top. So a teacher would be a user so that they can access the task and send those tasks out to the parents. They may be able to do other things as well, but definitely one of the things they would want to do is send those tasks out. Create a roster. They may also want to create a roster so that they can attach those tasks to a roster like their classroom roster students. A parent engagement coordinator at the local school level, at the LEA level. Both coordinators will need to access PimsPoints, all the functions, maybe not tasks, right? But they may want to send documents. They may want to send surveys. They may want to notify the parents of new activities, right? a school administrator, like an AP or a principal, they may want to run reports. They're not going to be able to run reports if they're not set up as a user. Okay. And oh yeah, and so let me mention that the teachers, we've been receiving your reports for your teacher users. We're uploading those individuals in here as we speak. So if you have not sent your Excel spreadsheet of your teacher's information, please go ahead and send that as soon as possible. If you need the document that has the layout, you can let us know in the chat, but we've already emailed it. But if you need it re-emailed, we can send that form. It's already formatted. All you have to do is enter the information and just enter it correctly and send it back to Mihul or Fred, and we'll make sure that we'll upload those teachers into the system so that you won't have to set them up as users. We're going to set them up for you. Okay. So if you did have a new teacher come on board and they need to be set up as a user. All right, let me show you how to do that. I'm going to start from the home screen. And again, if you want to go ahead and go to this website and log in and join in with me and enter information, please do so. It's a good opportunity for you to practice. So again, we're going to set up a new user. I'm going to go to setup again. We're going to go to setup again. I'm going to click setup. And I'm going to go down to user profiles. And I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys out there. But I'm going to scroll down to user profiles. Click user profiles. Okay. If you notice, we already have users in here. But we want to add a new user. So of course, we're going to click the green and white add button. All right, you're going to give that user a name. I mean, you're going to enter the user's email address. So I'm just going to put something in here. And you don't have to save this. In fact, you don't have to click the save button on this. We're just going to put information in. So let's say LaVelle Seals at PimsPoints.com. You will have to assign that user a password so they can sign in initially, but please encourage them to change that password after they sign up initially. And I'm going to show you guys how they can change that password when they sign in. Okay, so I'm going to give them a password, confirm that password, type that first name, last name. Now, right here is super important because if you neglect to click approved, then that parent or that user is not going to be able to log in. Okay, so we want to make sure that this individual is approved. Let's say that you have a user who is approved, but they have to leave the school, maybe for maternal leave or some other reason, and they'll be off the grid for a while. You don't have to delete them out of the system. You can just lock them out if you need to. And then when they return, you can go ahead and just unlock it and keep them approved. Or don't lock them out at all. But I was letting you know that you can lock out an approved user temporarily if you need to. Right here where it says start date, end date, that's the date that they can actually log into their account. The end date, of course, is the date that they will no longer be able to log in. PimsPoints will lock that account out. Right here where it says select organization tags to associate to users, super important right here, right? Again, we are going to set up your organizations in here already. Once that organization is set up, you should be able to grab a tag to associate with that user. So if I'm an LEA, if I am a LEA parent engagement coordinator, I need to be tagged with all the schools in my district so I can see what everyone is doing. If I'm just a parent engagement coordinator at the local school, I just need to be tagged with just that school, which means that when I log in, I'm only going to be privy to all good elementary schools account. Okay. Right here you see, and by the way, if you don't see your organization in that drop list when you get ready to associate a tag to that user, no problem. Click this green and white button right here, and you can create a tag on the spot. All right. I'm going to name this tag All Good Elementary School. Okay. I can give it a description if I want to, right? Or I don't have to. Where it says select organizations, it's optional. If you see your organization down here, you can select that. Okay. If not, it's no big problem. Your tag will still be created. All right. And since we already have a tag for All Good, I'm going to just create another tag. I'm going to save that organization tag. Okay. I'll type it in. And if you notice, there's the tag. It's very important that you associate the correct tags with your users, or they're not going to be able to access a particular organization's account. Default organization and default program period. When a user logs in, they'll have to set their default, they have to set their organization and program period up every time they log in, unless they set it to default. I'm going to show you guys how to set your organization and program period to default so that every time you log in, you don't have to set that up. Can modify users. If you allow a user to modify other users, that means that they'll be able to go into their account and just edit their information or change the information or whatever. So if they don't need to access the user's information, do not check mark that box. Last but not least, you would then select the role type that user that best describes that user, right? So again, if it's an administrator, I'm just going to click administrator. All right. On yours, you'll have teacher, you'll have LEA, parent engagement coordinator, local LEA, parent engagement coordinator, and administrative users, which would be your AP or your principal, or maybe your coach or something like that. Okay. And then you would just simply save that user. And once you save them, they do not receive an email with that username and password. You have to go ahead and email that or let them know what that username and password is. Okay. So you can give a general password and then let them know to change that password when they log in. Okay. All right, so what I've done is I showed you guys not only how to set up your locations, which is one of the first things you guys need to do on your live site. Go ahead, set up your locations if you know of any locations at that time that you may be doing things. So that way they're already in there. I also showed you guys how to set up a user, an administrative user. Users could be teachers, parent engagement coordinators at the local school level and the LEA level, the SEA level even, as well as administrators such as your principal, your assistant principal, right? Things like that. So the next thing I want you to put your attention to is this area over here where it says actions. Okay. After your user is set up, you can then edit that user information. If I click edit, just goes to this view. You've seen this view already. Okay. You can view details of that user's information. All right. Even that user's activity on the platform, you can view that information as well. You can also reset that user's password. You can reset that user's password simply by clicking reset. They'll get an email with the new password. They'll be able to log in and change their and create a new password for themselves. Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to show you guys how will a user change that password, and how would they set that program, set that organization, that program period to default. All right, just like any other software, you have a user area where you can do different things in your user account in settings. So right here is where you will find your account. So you can click that and you can edit your profile. In your settings, if you notice, my organization is already set by default to Louisiana. My program period is already set to default to 2020, 2021. Again, this is not going to be set. You'll have to do this when you log in. Set it so that you won't have to keep doing it when you log in. And I'll show you what I mean when I close this window. Also, you can put the current password in. So if you give your user admin1, when they log in, they'll put admin1 here, and they'll put their new password there and confirm it here. Okay. Now, what did I mean when I say every time you log in, you have to set that program period in that organization? What I mean is this: if you look at the top of the dashboard up here, if I click on sessions, notice that Louisiana Department of Education is already set for my organization. Notice that the program period that I want to be in is already set, was set by default. If I don't set it by default, every time I log in, I have to go up to sessions and I have to select the organization and select the program period, because there's going to be multiple organizations in here. You have a whole state using this. So it would be good if you set your default organization up, okay? If you are a district LEA person, you'll be able to select multiple organizations and go into their be able to go into their organization's information and view different things, right? But if you are at the LEA level, you probably will want to set your default organization to whatever your LEA is as an organization. Okay. All right, I'm going to go home. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you how you would approve a participant. Now, I talked about users, and now I'm saying the word participant. And I was using the word participant earlier. I was telling you guys that the participant is the parent. So again, let me set this up for you. So the parents will be downloading the app, or they'll be going to the participant portal to create an account. They'll fill out some information, okay? They'll submit that information. You guys will approve those parents, right? Once you verify and approve those parents, they'll receive an email from PimsPoints with their username and password, and they'll be able to log into their participant portal or their mobile app, whether it's on Android or iOS, and then they'll be able to access their account information and receive communications from you, okay? So how do you know if a participant has requested to be approved, right? And how do you approve those participants? All right, so the first thing is, how would you know that a participant is requesting that you approve them? Well, again, if you go home, I need everyone to go home for a minute. Click that home button. On that home button, you see a message screen. This is your messages. All different messages come in this area, including a request to be activated by a parent or participant. I'm going to show you what that would look like. Let's see if I can find one here. All right, right there. You guys see this blue guy right here with this bell? This is a parent ringing the bell saying, hey, I want a PimsPoints account. I need you guys to verify my information and approve me, please, so that I can log in and get communications. So you're going to be like, okay, this parent wants to, we got a new participant sign up. We want to approve them. All you need to do from your message screen is just click view. Okay. Click take action. And if you look up here at the top under approved participant user, there's 3 steps, right? You'll see who the participant is that's accessing request for the organization. And you'll also click next and you'll see household or people in their household that you'll want to verify. So right here, and this is a dummy site, so we didn't have anything in here, but you'll see it when you do your live site. Any students or all of their children that are in the household, those parents would enter those children's information. That information will be right here, and you can verify those students are indeed connected to this particular participant, right? And possibly even approved to even receive communications from the school on behalf of that student. You'll then click next. Instead of a finish button, you'll see an approve button, and you just simply approve that parent. And then they'll again get the email from PimsPoints welcoming them. They'll get a username, password, they'll be able to log in. That's just one way, that's just one area to approve them. Okay. Now I'm going to show you another area in which you can approve them. Now, the thing about this way is notice that it's only one individual that you're approving right now in this manner. What if you wanted to see a lot of people that are requesting approval? Not necessarily to approve them all at one time, but just to have a filter of all the parents that are requesting access to PimsPoints. Where would you see that at? Of course, you can see it here, but you don't want to go to each individual message. You want to see them all at one time. All right, so I'm going to show you where you would see those requests at one time. All right, I want you guys to go to set up again. Go down to user profiles again. We're going to go over to this black menu button, gray and black. I want you guys to click that. In that list, you should see manage requests. This is not requests from your users. Remember, you're setting up your users. You know, we're putting your teachers in as well. This is managing the request of participants. So I'm going to click manage requests. And in this list, you can see parents that have been approved. You can even see parents that are pending approval. Okay, let me see if I can make this to 25. Okay. You can search all columns by simply typing in pending. All right, and I've filtered the individuals that are pending requests. I'll click this green check mark for each individual so that I can approve them, go through the process to approve them. So for Roger Loveland, I'm going to click that check mark. All right, verify his information. Okay, notice that you have duplicate information on Roger. You may run into that, right? That's fine. I know simply by verifying Roger's information that this individual is one and the same. So I'm just going to just click this round circle right here so that this information is just merged together. It's all the same thing, right? I'm going to then click next, right? Now notice that you have Roger has a household member. He has a son, Roger Jr. I can verify that information, right? Once I verify that, I can then click next. And there's that green approve button I was telling you guys about earlier. I can then go ahead and approve this user. Okay. Same thing with Sally Sanders. I can, again, click that approve button with the white check mark. And I see Sally Sanders is requesting approval. She wants approval to be connected to Louisiana Department of Education. She can request multiple organizations because she may have multiple students or multiple children in that household that go to different schools. that individual parent can request access from multiple schools at one time. All those individual school administrators will see that individual student's parent and that individual student's information to approve that parent and connect it to. Okay, I'll click next. I see that Sally also has a student that she wants to make sure is connected with her in one household. I'm going to I confirmed it, it's good. I'm going to click next. And then again, I'm going to click approve. Okay. And again, you don't worry about this. This is just a demo site. Just play with it as you will. Okay. Once they're approved, of course, they'll receive an email with their username, password. They can log into the app, parent or participant portal, and begin receiving communications from the approving organization. Again, from the approving organization. Okay. So again, I've shown you guys the process of approving a parent or participant and where you can go to approve those participants. 2 locations, again, from your messages screen as they come in as a message, you'll see them on your screen, or you can go to setup, organizations, go to that menu button. I'm sorry, go to setup, sorry about that. Go to setup, go to user profiles. Go to that menu button and then go to manage requests. And then you can manage those individuals' requests. You can type in their pending. You can even type in denied. Okay. And notice that there's no one pending anymore because we approved the 2 people that were pending. So no one's pending, everyone's approved at this point. Okay. Again, people, feel free to put your questions in the chat, comments, concerns, whatever, put them in the chat. We definitely have people waiting on standby to respond to those. Okay, I'm going to go back to my home screen. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to jump a little ahead because I want to put this out. I want to talk about this first. So each individual organization, whether it's a local school, an LEA, even the SEA, will be able to create coupons in the system. What I mean by create coupons, you guys will actually be able to access what we call our merchant portal. You'll be able to create coupons that will be available to the parents on the PimsPoints platform. So if a parent earns 50 points and you guys say, hey, look, you know, or let's say that you guys say, hey, look, we have a lot of book bags, we have a lot of school supplies, let's stuff these backpacks full of supplies, and let's say that each book bag is worth 100 points, right? Well, when that parent earns 100 points, they'll be able to come to your office and say, hey, look, I got 100 points. I want to redeem this coupon you guys have in here for this free book bag full of school supplies for these 100 points. You guys say, hey, cool, good job. You earned 100 points, amazing. They'll click the redeem button. The points will be taken from the total, give them the backpack, and now their student has a backpack with school supplies. And the parent feels good because they actually worked for that. They actually earned that backpack for their child, all right? So how would you create a coupon? You would simply, again, everyone go to your home screen, just click that home button for me. Okay. Once you click that home button, on this blue tab, dashboard, you should see a green and white button that says rewards. Once you guys click that reward button, okay, that reward button takes you to what we call the merchant portal. This is where businesses will also go and log in to create coupons and different things for your participants. But you guys can link right into there from your administrative portal. What can you do here again? create your coupons. How many coupons can you create? Each organization can create 5 coupons max. Only 5, you're limited to 5. So let's say school A can create 5 coupons, right? The LEA that school A is under can also create 5 coupons because the LEA is its own organization. The SEA, again, its own organization with its own account, they'll be able to go in and create 5 coupons and distribute those coupons statewide. A LEA can distribute their 5 coupons district-wide. Let's say that you have a coupon, you've partnered with the local museum or something, and you want to distribute that coupon district-wide, you can do that. Or let's say a better example, let's say that your LEA is can't think of a really good idea right now offhand, but anything that would cover the district in terms of a coupon, the LEA can do it from where they are, right? At the local school, let's say that you want to create coupons, maybe a free jeans day or regular clothes if they wear uniforms, or again, we use the backpack, maybe a free ticket to a football game, just so many different things you can do. You can set those up, and again, you can do a maximum of 5. Now, you can't delete a coupon out once it's created. The only way that coupon disappears out of the system is when it expires, right? So if you have a coupon, if all your coupons don't expire until May 2022, then you're not going to be able to delete those coupons out of there because parents are still using them and accessing them because you put a date on there that expires in May. All right, so just be cognizant of that you have a maximum of 5. You can't go beyond 5. If you be cognizant of the expiration date for that coupon, because that's the only way that coupon disappears and makes space available for you to have more coupons in there or a different coupon in there. Okay, so how do you create that coupon? Once you click that reward button, again, remember we click rewards. Once you click that reward button, simply click on coupons. You'll find that on the black toolbar at the top. Click coupons. All right. Once you click coupons, you'll be able to click add new coupon. And right now, I think we've maxed out on our coupons, but there's a green and white add button. You'll be able to add that coupon. And again, remember, you have 5 coupons. We've been demoing all week. I think we'd have maxed out, but you'll be able to just click it. It'll be an add button. Just click add and you'll be able to create that coupon. Okay. Once you create that coupon, you'll be able to view details of that coupon. And let me open one up. Let's see, let's go to free backpack. Okay. So there's only one coupon. In this case, they only created a quantity of one backpack, right? There's only one coupon for one backpack, but let's say your school has 50 backpacks. So that means you're going to have a quantity of 50 backpacks, 50 coupons out there, right? And what I mean, and I don't mean 50 coupons, meaning that only 50 people will receive them. What I'm saying is that there's only you only have a quantity of 5 backpacks, or 50 backpacks, right? Once that quantity is out, then that coupon will also disappear. There's no more left. So you can determine the quantity of coupons that you want made available for the quantity of items that you have. Date created, the point value, you'll be able to assign the point value to that particular coupon. So this coupon is worth 60 points. And be cognizant of how many points. You wouldn't want to assign 10 points to a backpack full of school supplies. Parents get 10 points just for downloading the app and creating an account. So you want to be cognizant. You want to make sure that they're reachable, but not so reachable that you run out of stuff real fast and it's just real easy for the parents to get. We do want them to earn, these things. So just be cognizant of your point value based on what the item is. Maximum redemptions per customer. So this means that this coupon is, once it's redeemed, it can't be redeemed anymore by this particular, by a particular participant. They can only redeem that coupon one time. Okay. And so I kind of jumped ahead. I usually wait towards the end to do this, but I noticed that during my trainings with other states and other organizations, people are really excited about the rewards part and that coupons part. So I kind of start there at the beginning, and then I work back into the other features of the administrative portal. I just wanted to, again, show you guys how you will be able to create coupons. And again, you only be able to max out at 5 per organization. Okay. I'm going to go back to my administrative portal. If you guys can join me back there as well. Okay, everyone should be on that administrative portal. All right, the next thing I want to do is access a participant's account. So we've set up your organizations are set up. You set up different locations, including yours. You have your administrative user set up. You got that down pat. You have once you do that, the next, you have participants that have been approved. You've been approving them. They're in the system. Once that participant is approved, you can access that participant's account. And so what I want to show you is what can you do in that participant's account once that participant is approved. How do you get to participants' accounts? And again, participants or parents, how do you get to their account? So from your home screen, I'm going to click on people. You guys are following along with me. Click on people on your dashboard at the top right here. Click on person information. And here you have all of your parents that have been approved. Also, all your users will also be in here approved. All right, you can filter those individuals out, but these are all your approved participants. Okay. Let's pick on Troy Blaine right at the top of our list. We'll pick on him a little bit. Once Troy Blaine is approved and he's in here, I can edit his information simply by clicking that edit button. That edit button puts you into their account, sort of like opening a file and then being able to view all of Tony Blaine's information within his file. What can I do once I'm inside that file? I can then view his personal information. If I need to edit that or do anything with that, I can. This information is entered when Tony Blaine downloads the app and fill out the form. All the information is not required. All we're going to ask for is the first name, last name, email address, students, all the students in their information, the school they go to, grade, level, and I believe age, and I believe that's it, so that we can make sure that we connect those students and those parents properly. What else can you do? The service info button is not real important. It's not something that you guys will use too much. In fact, that button may not even be available on your live site, but you will want to view household information. All right, so let me give you a scenario for that. At one of the schools that used PimsPoints, they had a individual parent that they ended up losing their cell. They signed up for PimsPoints, but they forgot to add one of their students to the household. They wanted to make sure their student was connected to the household. They had lost their cell phone and they didn't have a laptop, but they wanted that student to be connected with them in that one household. So they called the school and they said, hey, look, can you please add such and such to my household? I can't do it from my device. Can you do it for me? Now, if they did have their device, all they have to do is go into their settings, scroll all the way down, and then add that student and submit. And you guys would be able to see the request or the submission or the modified account, and just save that account for them on your end, because they'll have to submit it because you have to verify that student. All right, but let's say that this parent don't have a phone or the device, and but they do want you to add a child to their household. You can simply go to household details. Okay, you see the household name, this monthly income piece right here. Some organizations that use PimsPoints, they request this if the parent want to enter it, but it's definitely not something that Louisiana will be requesting from students. So you won't see anything here on any of the students, on any of the parents. Again, they will not be requested to enter this particular piece of information. Okay, so now let's say I want to add a student to this household. I can either add that student by clicking Quick Select or Advanced Select. I really like dealing with Advanced Select because you can use filters. Okay. You can enter the first name, last name, or date of birth and click Find Person, and it will filter. You can also search all columns or use any of these search boxes below each column. Once you click that student's name, they will be added to this list of individuals that are in this household, and you would just simply save it. You would just simply save it. Okay. All right, so again, if you wanted to edit a participant information, again, you will go to People, Person Information, click Edit, excuse me. And now you're in their account or folder, however you want to look at that. We just looked at their household. Another thing that you can do from within their account is you can document your notes in terms of communication. Okay. It doesn't go out to anyone. This is just for your record keeping. Now, I know a lot of school districts use, they have their staff members, teachers and whatnot to document things in their student information portals, which is fine. It's like Dr. Hunter said, you won't have to use everything. You don't have to use everything on PimsPoints. It's so robust, right? You don't have to use everything. This is just another feature that we put in here for those individual schools who would like to keep everything in one location, including documented contact attempts or efforts. Or once you make that contact, you may want to take notes about what was discussed and things like that. You can do all those things here in PimsPoints as well. Close that. Documents, which is an interesting feature here. We're gonna go a little bit more in detail too with this one. But from with an individual's account, again, remember we are in Troy Blaine's account. Once we're in his account, we can send him a document from within his account. Let's say that we don't want to send a document to all the parents. Let's say that we just want to send a field trip form to Troy Blaine, right? Well, you can just go to Troy Blaine's account, click Edit, go to Documents. Once you are in Documents, okay, there's two types of documents that you can send Troy Blaine. You can send him what we call a signature document, or just a regular document, like a PDF file or something like that, a Word document. Okay. The difference between these two type of documents is this: a signature document is sort of like it will be something like a parent engagement compact or a field trip a document or a form. The reason why is because a signature is going to be required on that document. So parents will be able to receive that document within PimsPoints, sign, verifying that they approve, that they received and approved. You'll get and submit that. You'll get that document, and you'll be able to run reports, run all those documents out. If you want to make hard copies, if you want to save those documents somewhere else besides PimsPoints, you can do that, but you'll have that document signed and timestamp, date and timestamps. Okay. The other type of document is just like a flyer. It's a document that has information that you want the parents to know about, but it doesn't require a signature on the document like a parent engagement compact would. Okay. So the first thing we're going to deal with is a document that does not require a signature, like a flyer. What you would do is you would simply go to select file. Oh, well, I'm sorry, you would first go to upload document, not signature document, because this document, we don't care about the signature. We just want that parent to, we just want to send this document out, and we want that parent to verify that they received it, right? I'm going to select the file. Once I do that, I can then select the document that I want to attach, right? And then I would just simply submit it. Once I submit it, that parent's gonna get that document immediately. They'll get a notification, they'll view it, they'll sign verifying that they received it. You'll get that signature and time and date stamped on a ticket. So you'll know for a fact that this parent received the document. You'll even know when they received it or when they actually signed for that document and what day they signed for that document. Okay. Now, you then will have to determine, you can also determine if that document is pertaining to a specific person in that household. It's not necessary, but you can do it if you want to. Just give the parent a little bit more clarification about who the document is for. You can also put comments that the parent will view when they receive that notification. It's not necessary. You can still submit this without putting any comments. All right. Once you have everything ready, you can just submit the document. All right. And you see the message down here on the bottom right. It says documentation successfully uploaded. Okay, which means it was sent. The other document that you may be interested in sending out is a document again that needs a signature on it. All right. The difference between the two now is that you have to set that signature document up. So if you guys have parent engagement compact agreements that you send out to your students already, that's cool. You can go ahead and copy and paste that the content into a document that you're going to create to send out as a signature document. All right. Once you create that document, it will appear here. So let's assume that we already have a parent engagement compact agreement ready. Okay. I would just simply select that document. And then I would, if I want to determine who that document is pertaining to in that household, I will then click Assign Document. I'm not going to click Assign Document yet because I want to show you guys something. Let's say I click in this area and I don't have a signature document ready. I have a parent engagement compact that I need to send out. I haven't created one. Maybe I thought that I created one and I go here to look for it and I don't see it. Well, from this window, I can just simply create that signature document. All right, remember I mentioned that you can copy and paste. Let's say your school has a parent engagement compact already. Well, you can go ahead and type what it is. I'm going to put EBR, hold on. EBR, parent engagement compact. Okay, I can give that document a description. Again, you don't have to. Then I'm going to go down to the document body. If you already have a parent engagement compact, let's say it's in Word form or whatever, just copy it and then paste it into your body. If you don't have the document, that's fine too. Just go ahead and create it here. Create the body for that. You have all these different things on your toolbar that you can use to make that document the way you want it to look. All right. So I'm just going to do something simple here. right? I'm going to type in, hi parents, please view and sign the parent compact agreement. All right. Now, I know I'm sure yours will probably be way more, definitely not as simple as this. But once you have your body, you then have to ask yourself, well, where's the signature going to show up at? Where will I see the signature? When that parent gets this to their device and they sign that signature pad, where will that signature go? Well, you have to set your placeholders. Right here, you have 4 placeholders that you can put in this document, wherever you want in the document, as many times as you want it. Those placeholders will be automatically filled when that parent submits that. So when they sign, that area where you put that placeholder will be filled with the signature. Wherever you put the signature date, wherever you put that placeholder will be populated with the date that that parent signed. Right here where you see participant's full name, that will be the first one, that would be the full name of that parent that will be populated on that sheet, as well as any demographic contact information, address, phone number. All right. So let's go ahead and place these holders where we want. Let's say that when I get this back to me, I want to see the parent's first and last name automatically populated right there at the top of the document. All right. And when they receive it, they'll see that their name is already there. It'll already be there. It'll be very personalized. I want to then make sure that the address, maybe and the phone number is also on the document if I want to. If I want to, may not be necessary in your case. The parents will read the message. Okay. Now I need to set my placeholder so that the signature and the date will be captured. All right. One way I can do that is simply put my signature image where I want that signature to appear. All right. And then put my signature date, the date that that individual signed the document. Put it right next to it. So when they sign, you'll have their signature here and then the date will be there. All right. But I implore you to put that signature date and that signature image inside of a table. And I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because it will control that signature so that it just looks better on your document. Some parents sign real big. If you control that signature in a cell, in that date in a cell, it'll look really well on your document. Still have a signature if you don't, it'll still be fine, but it just looks really well on your document if you put it in a table. So how do you do that? You should see a table on your screen on that toolbar. I want you to click that table. Okay. I want that signature and that date to be in the same row, right? Signature, then the date. So I'm going to change my row to just one. I'm going to leave my width at 500. That's fine. I want 2 columns because I want a column for my signature and I want a column for my date. Okay. Border size. I'm going to change this to 0. The reason why is because if I don't change it to 0, then the cells that signature and that image is going to show that will be in, you'll be able to see the lines, right? I don't want to see the lines. All I want to do is see the signature and I want that signature control and I want to see the date. So I'm going to put 0 for size. You might take a screenshot of this if you want to so you can remember if you want a snippet. Once I do that, I'm good. I don't have to do anything else. I'm going to click OK. You can also put your other placeholders in cells as well. But one reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want that signature and that date to be side by side. and I want that signature to be controlled. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. And you may not be able to see it that well, but notice I have a cell here and I have a cell here. Or should I say a column here and a column here. I want my signature placeholder to go in this cell. So I'm going to go up here to placeholders, click signature image. Now that signature will appear right here and it will be controlled by that cell. And I want that date, the date in which the parent signs, saying that they agree with the parent compact. I want that to appear in the cell next to it. So I'm gonna put the signature date. Okay. And if there's more than one place in which a parent needs to sign, or in which you want the signature to appear, and or if there's more than one place you want a signature date populated, as well as the other placeholders, you can just put those placeholders anywhere you want in that document. Okay. And then I'm going to save it. And by the way, you can even send parents. Let's say that you have a document and it has you want to put a hot link on that document. So when that parent receives that document, you want to click a hot link. You want them to click this hot link. Maybe take them to a YouTube page or take them to some other kind of website. You can actually put a hot link in this document, and the parents can click that hot link when they open that document up and view it. All right. Here's your link right here. Okay. You can actually go ahead and create links for your documents. Okay, so what I've done is I've shown you how to set up a document from within one individual's file. Again, we just want to send that document to Troy Blaine. What if Troy Blaine calls and says, hey, look, I heard about a workshop that you guys are having. I can't, again, my cell phone got stolen yesterday. I don't have a laptop. I don't have a computer. I don't have internet service or whatnot. But I really want to come to this workshop. I'm interested in what's going on. Can you please enroll me in that session? Well, you can go in as an admin and say, cool, no problem, Troy. I'm gonna go to enroll. I'm gonna go to his file. Remember, in order to get these blue buttons up here, I have to go to him and then click this edit button. Once I click that edit button, I'll then want to click enroll for session because that's what he wants. Okay. I'm going to select one of the 4 programs that session is associated with. Remember, you would have set that session up, and we're going to do all these things a little bit later. Let's say it's a workshop. I'm going to click workshop. I'm going to select the activity that is associated to that workshop. Let's say that this is a training underneath workshops, a parent engagement training. All right. Let's say that the session for this particular parent engagement training has to do with PimsPoints. So we have a PimsPoints session for an activity called parent engagement training. So anything that you would associate with parent engagement training, how to help your child with homework. What else? Maybe you may have a workshop on that has to do with parent engagement on how to understand math and language arts, reading language art standards, right? All those things will be sessions underneath this type of activity, which fall under workshops and trainings. All right. Once I do that, I can even add a roster. If he's on a roster, if I want to add a roster to this, I can do this as well. Okay. Once I do that, I can then simply enroll him in the session. Remember, the PimsPoint training is the roster, so we want to select that roster so that he'll be now on that pre-generated roster that was created when we set up the session. So I want to repeat that. We set up a session, or if you have when you set up a session, a roster is pre-generated for you. It's all PimsPoints will create a roster for you. When you enroll Troy Blaine to this PimsPoints training, his name is now going to be on that roster because remember, he couldn't register because he lost, his phone got stolen or whatnot. He don't have a computer, his Wi-Fi is messed up, he can't enroll, but he heard about it through another parent. You just enrolled him, right? So I'm going to click enroll for session and he's ready. He's ready, okay? All right, I know I said a mouthful so far. We got a little bit more to go. Halfway through, I would like to take a moment to take a 10-minute break, if that's okay with everyone. And then we'll convene at, let's be back at about 3:06. About 3:06, we'll be back and we'll be ready to continue. I appreciate everyone's patience and your engagement with this so far. Okay, everyone, it's 3:06. When it gets started, wait just a couple seconds. I know some people probably just getting back. You know, by the way, while we wait, I know some people are still trying to get back. Well, you know, while I wait, we have the video ready, but I'll wait towards the end because I do definitely want to show you guys some tools that you'll be able to use. Okay. Can someone verify that they see my screen? I just want to make sure. Can someone in the chat, please let me know that you see my screen? Anyone? Can someone in the chat let me know that you see the screen still? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Almost through this. Let's see. All right. Okay, so we left off talking about the participant's account and what we can do within their account. And I was calling it folder, just kind of give you a visual, but it's just an account. It's just that individual's account. All right, we talked about viewing that individual's information, household information, being able to log communication efforts and different notes. We also discussed the documents that you can send from within a person's account, the two type of documents, signature documents and just a regular document, as well as discussing the how you can actually enroll an individual into a session as an administrator. The next thing I want to show you, and you're familiar with this already, is what if you want to set up a new household, or if you just want to go to households, but you're not within a person's account. I want to get out of Tony Blaine's account and I want to just go home. Everyone go to your home screen. We're going to start there. You don't have to start there when you start navigating through this thing. I just like to start from the home screen when I'm training. So from my home screen, if I want to go to a household or view households without going into an individual's account, I can simply go to people. You see households there. But remember, when we click this, we're not going to be in Troy Blaine's household. We're accessing the area that will show us all of the households, right? And all the individuals that are connected in that household. I want to point something out. Let's say that you have, let's say that you have a child. That child has a grandmother, a mother, and a father. All three of those individuals can have a PimsPoints account. Their accounts will be separate, right? They won't be intermingling the account, but those three accounts will be conjoined under one household with that student connected to all three individuals. So if grandma do something, If the father do something, if the parents do something, they're all earning individual points, right? All three of them will be able to see the same rewards. But if father only has 50 points, father always, I don't want to say father has less points. Let's say father has 100 points and the mom has 50 points. And let's say the grandmother has 20 points or whatnot, right? They'll all be able to see that coupon for that backpack that's worth 50 points. But grandma don't have enough points to get it, right? But the mother and father do. But because they both individually earn their points, they both can individually redeem that coupon. Okay. All right. So let's say that you want to add a household. Another scenario again would be that you have a family that came to your school, and the parent maybe doesn't have any way to set up an account on PimsPoints via mobile or web. But you want to add them after they've been set up as a participant, because you can set them up as a participant manually. You can go ahead and create a household for them, just as long as they're in your system. All right, I will just simply go to add. Let me start over so you can see where I got to households. Again, from your home screen, go to people. You see households right there. I can view all the households in my organization. I want to add a household. Let's say this is called the Holmes family, or whatever you want to call it. Let me give it a first name. Fred Holmes family, whatever. Okay. You see this monthly income again. It's not required. It's definitely not going to be asked. Okay. Now, how do I add individuals to this household? We got the name, right? We want to start adding individuals to this household who belong. Again, you can use quick select. I love using advanced select. From advanced select, I see 3 people here in my organization that could possibly belong to this household, right? So let's say that Fred Holmes family, he has Mario Keys is a member in that household, right? Let's say that Mario Keys, in fact, let's take Fred's name off. I think it'll make more sense to you if you see it like this. Let's say Holmes. We'll just put Holmes household. All right, let's say Mario Keys is a member of that household. All right. Let's add another one. Let's say that Frank Johnson is a member of that household. Okay. And let's add another household. Let's say Marcus Smith is a member of that household. All right. We have to determine who is the head of that household. Let's say that Mario Keys is the head of that household. And let's say that Frank Johnson is the son, and Marcus Smith is also a son. So now we've created a household for Mario Keys. And we probably should have put Keys here. I just want to kind of make things make a little sense for you. It's the Keys household. Okay. Once that household is set up and you have the correct students associated to this particular head of household, you can then save that household. Save the household. And again, I always like to search once I save a record, just to make sure it's there. So I'm going to look for keys by typing keys in the all search box. And here I see the household. And again, those people who are following along and actually going into the system and doing things, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that level of engagement. Once a household is created, you can then edit a household, which is the same window that you saw when you created the household. Okay. You can delete a household, or you can just click details. So you can just get a quick glance of what that household looked like, because you don't plan on editing it or anything like that or adding to it. Just want to glance. Okay. So what I've shown you just now is how to access to all the households in your organization for the purpose of either adding a new household, editing, deleting, or viewing details of a household that has been created. All right, we're gonna go back to our home screen. Right. So just a real quick review. We've set up locations. We've set up additional administrative users. I've shown you how to approve parents and where the 2 areas you can approve those parents. We've also discussed documents from within. We discussed several things from within an individual participant's record, enrolling that individual in the session, sending documents to just them from within their account, viewing their personal information from within their account, making notes about communication and different things from within their account. And I've also just now showed you how to go to an area to see all the households in your organization. Again, go to participation, or people, households, and then you can see all the different households. All right. If everyone can go to your home screen again. Let me see where we are at on here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a roster. So I'm a teacher. I want to send learning tasks out to my parents, right, to complete. Well, it'd be much easier for me to do that if those if I had a roster set up. Any messages that you send on here, and you know you're going to be sending them to multiple people at one time, and they're all linked or connected and grouped in some kind of way, like a 3rd grade class, put those people on a roster. If you have a parent engagement council, it consists of 4 people, and there's you'll be communicating with these people. Those 4 people, put those 4 people on a roster and name the parent engagement council. You may want to put, you may have a situation where you want to create a roster, and on this roster, you have only those parents who have meetings with you on a Monday of every week. You can put those parents on a specific Monday meeting roster. Okay. So how do you create that roster? How do you set that up? From your home screen, we're going to go to participation, and we're going to go to rosters. All right. You're very familiar with this view. It's the same table that you've been seeing throughout PimsPoints. You got your search all columns. You got your search columns at the bottom of search. You have your search box at the bottom of each column you can search, or you can use to search, right? You have rosters already created, but in this case, you want to create a new roster. So let's click Add Roster, this green and white button. Okay. I'm going to name this roster Mr. Let me give another name. Let's name it Miss Hunter's class. All right. All right, so now she wants to go ahead and put individuals on the roster. She's named it. Now she wants to go down here, and again, we can do quick select. But I like to use multiple select, especially in situations like this when I know there's going to be a lot of people that I'm going to be selecting, because I can select multiple people at one time and just push all those people on that roster at one time. So I'm going to click Advanced Select. Okay. Then I'm going to scroll down, and I can either use this search all columns, or I can use those boxes at the bottom to search for individuals that I want to put on here, or I can just begin selecting. I want Troy Blaine on my roster. He's one of my parents. I want Jane Doe on my roster. She's one of my parents. Jane Demo, Xavier Henson, and Alfred Hitchcock, Mary Green, These are people that are on my roster. These are parents that are on my roster, and I want these individuals. These are parents of students in my class, and I want these individuals on my roster. So after I select them, I'm just simply click select. And those individuals begin to populate the roster. Now, when I send a document, or if I send a survey, or when I send a task, in this case, if I'm a teacher and I want to send a task, I can just simply select the roster and it will go to those people that are just on that roster. If I want to send, if I create a session, which we're going to get to, I can create a session and provide that session to just people on a roster. I can send it out privately. Okay. After I do that, after I select, I'm going to click Save Roster. Just like we've done in the past, I want to go ahead and search, make sure that roster is available. And if you notice, it's right here, Ms. Hunter's class. We got 6 members on that roster. They're all active. Shows the organization that they're connected to, or she's connected to. Excuse me, the program period. Right where it says auto-generated, it's just saying that there has not been a roster automatically generated. If I create a session, it will automatically generate a roster. In this case, we just created one, right? Once that roster is created, you can edit the roster. It's the same window that you saw to create the roster. You can delete that roster, but PimsPoints will not allow you to delete that roster if there's data connected to it. So if you have a roster and you start sending, and you send it out, letting people know that to register for a session, and they start registering, and then they go to that session and attendance is recorded, you're not going to want to delete that roster, because you want to keep that data connected, right, in every way possible, including on a roster. Details. If you just want to view the quick details of that roster, you can do that. If you don't plan on editing it or anything like that. And if you want to print that roster, you can print that. You can print a hard copy out, is what I mean. You can print a hard copy out of that roster. Okay. So let's say that this is a daily or a session roster. You can click that and you'll be able to create that roster. Okay, on your live site. Okay, so I've shown you where to go to view I'm sorry I was muted. Hopefully you guys heard what I said. I don't know how I got muted, but let me just repeat. I've shown you guys how to go to the area where you can create or add a roster, and also view rosters that have already been created. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay, thanks. All right, good. And then again, once you got that roster created, you can edit, delete that roster if there's nothing associated, no data. View quick details, and you can print that roster out. Let's say that you want to have that roster at a sign-in table, a hard copy. You can print that roster out and have a hard copy ready with those people who are on that roster. All right, now let's go back to the home screen. Let's go back to the home screen. Okay. Now this is the funnest part to me. We're going to show you once you have the organization is set up. We've done that for you. Your users are set up. The only users you most likely be setting up are people who are coming to you and say, hey, look, I want to be an administrative user. Because all we're doing is setting up your teachers and the LEA people and the parent engagement coordinator people. We've shown you how to go into a person's file, look into their record, or look into their account and do different things. We've shown you how to create a roster, create households. After you have all those things done, the fun part happens. Now you want to start surveying your parents. You want to start sending them documents. You want to start setting up activities and sessions for your parents. You want to start sending them out tasks. You got rosters created. So now it's time to have fun with the platform. This is the fun part, because this is how the parents are going to be earning points. All right. So let's start with setting up a poll. Let's start with setting up a poll. Let's say that you are I'm gonna give you a couple scenarios. I'm a parent engagement coordinator. We're about to have let's say a workshop, and I want to have food at the workshop, and I just want to get the parents' input on what kind of food they want. Right? I can set up a survey real quick and send that survey to a roster or all the parents of that organization, and they'll start providing feedback. And what would that do for me? That will give me the information I need to go purchase the stuff that most of the people are saying that they want. You know what I mean? So something simple as that, or it can be something more complex or complicated, more complex than that, more deeper than that. All right. If I'm a teacher, I can do something simply as I really want to know, I want to check the temperature of of how my parents feel about my how I'm teaching their students, how I'm running my classroom. I want to get some feedback so that I can grow. As a teacher, I can simply go in here and set up a poll and put questions in there, send that poll out to my roster of parents, and immediately start getting feedback so that I can learn how to be a better teacher for my students and for my parents who are my clients, right? If I am a principal or a vice principal, I might want to get some feedback on school, on the temperature of the school culture, anything that has to impacts the entire school. I can just set that poll up as an administrator and send it out to all the parents in my organization. So the question is, how, Mr. Seals, do I set up a poll? Because I want to use that feature. I think that feature is pretty cool. Remember, you don't have to use everything in here, right? But in this case, you want to poll parents. So how do you do that? Click poll setup. Okay, same view. You have several polls that have already been set up. Once you set one up, it's libraried on this table, right? You don't have to set it up again. Even next year, all I have to do is go back to the same area, find that survey, and send it again. If I want to edit that, I can. But in this case, I want to add a new survey. So I'm going to click add new. Okay, I'm then going to give that survey a name. And I'm going to say, this survey will be, we'll call this one my classroom management or whatever, okay? The date range will be the date in which that survey will begin. You can control that. I can set the date for next month, right? The end date is the date in which that survey will end. And the cool thing about when this end date occurs, every individual that this survey was sent out to, they'll get a notification automatically from PimsPoints, and PimsPoints would give them the results of the survey that they participated in. So they get that, they know they get that feedback. They know the results of that poll. So they're involved with that whole thing. A lot of time parents they complete surveys and stuff, but they don't even know what the results were, but they participated in it. And how cool would it be if they are able to also see the results of the poll that they participated in, right? The poll details is optional. Instructions is optional. PimsPoints is very intuitive. You wouldn't need to provide them with any instructions unless you want to. You might have something specific, right? Once I name it and give it a date range, I'm going to click next. All right. Now this is the fun part for me, because I get to control what questions I ask and the response types that the parents will be able to respond to or choose from. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to add my questions, okay? The first question, and remember, these questions are going to have to do with classroom management. All right. So I'm going to write, my first question is going to be, how do you feel about my ability to manage the class? All right. Again, this is generic. This is generic. I'm sure you guys will be way more savvy and creative than this. I'm just showing you guys how to do this. So again, how do you feel about my ability to manage the class? You know, that might be a good question for parents. You know, they maybe come to your classroom, they observing and different things like that. They may want to provide some kind of feedback, whether positive or negative. You know, it's all healthy if you ask me if it helps me grow. Instructions is optional. Now, look right here where you see response type, which is super important, right? Because there's 3 types of ways that parents can respond to this question, right? And I have to set that up. Multiple response means that the parent can choose more than one response type. Let me give you an example. Let's say that the survey question was, what is your favorite cake? Well, your choices, let's say your response options are chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry cakes, right? Well, with multiple response, that parent can select all 3 of those. All 3 of those might be their favorite, or they may select 2, chocolate and vanilla. So let's assume that, let's say that you sent that particular question out and you want to know what types of cakes people liked, and you see that 90% of the people said chocolate, you know what I mean? 75% of the people said strawberry. Well, some of those people said chocolate and strawberry. So it seems like most of those people had those 2 types of cakes that are their favorite. The majority chose that. You got the feedback to make that decision to go buy those 2 favorite cakes. Okay. So I'm going to click multiple response, and I'm going to add response. I'm going to put my response type. So let's say that all right, I'm going to put option 1, excellent. I'll put a 1 right there. For every option, there's going to be an option value of 1. Now, what we're going to do for you guys is we're going to set this option value to 1 by default, so you guys don't have to do this, right? We'll set that as a default. But FYI, just know that there's one vote, 1 person. So each response has just 1 value, right? Let's say we add another one. And actually, you know what? Just to make this make sense for you all even better, I'm going to put that question that I asked earlier. Let's say that we are having a workshop and we want to know what type of desserts parents want. Let's say, what is your favorite desserts or cake? All right. I think this will flow better. So let's say strawberry. Okay, we gave it a value of 1 already. Let's say vanilla cake. And let's say that we want to add another option, chocolate cake. Give that a value of 1. All right. I'm going to save this question with these response options. Now, remember, this is set to multiple response, people. It's multiple response. So I can choose strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, right? And I'm going to save those changes. I'm going to add another question. All right. And this question is going to be, let's do the other one that I had the first time. How do you feel about my classroom management? Okay. Again, your instructions are optional. This time, I only want them to be able to choose one response. I don't want them to be able to choose a whole lot of things. They can only choose one. I'm going to put that on single response type. And then I'm going to add my options. Let's say there's 4 options. Okay. So how do you feel about my classroom? Let's say real good. Give that an option value of 1. Let's just say good on this one. Give that an option value of 1. All right. Let's say bad, that one. Let's put very bad on this one. And we can even say not sure. Okay. Once I finish doing that, excuse me, I just simply click Save Changes. And now I have my 2 types of questions, and my answer types are, my response types are set up as well. Now let's add another question. This question is going to be a text entered question. So let me put a question up here. Put how can let's say this. Do you have any suggestions for me? All right. Do you have any suggestions for me? Okay. And we want these parents in this case to actually give us a text enter response, which means they're going to type their answer in and send their comment, right? Notice you don't have response types or anything like that. It's disappeared because they're not going to be selecting anything. They're going to actually give you feedback by typing that response in. And then I save that. So we got a question in here where they can select more than one option. We got a question in here where they can select just only one response type. And we have a question in here where they can actually type their response in. You can always edit and delete, right? Once you feel like your survey is set up, you click next. Now, a lot of you guys may use SurveyMonkey and other different platforms. It's totally fine. Again, we're not saying stop using what you're doing. What we are is what I am doing is introducing you to a platform that has everything in it. And everything that's in it is connected to that parent and that student in that one household, so that you can have data wrapped around that parent in that household and be able to determine how that parent engagement activity is affecting student achievement. Okay. All right. We want to click next. And then we want to search for that poll. Now, I've always, up until this point, I've been using the search all columns. I'm just going to just do something different. I can click date created right here. Okay. And you see that my question is at the top, and some other people will create some too. Again, I really appreciate you guys who are engaged with this and practicing the system and learning it, getting a feel for it. Makes me feel good to know that people are actually doing it. So once you see it in there, you can then send it. Again, you can edit, delete. If you click view poll results, you're not going to see anything until people start responding to it. And the cool thing about this is you can at any time as a user, you can go into this poll, find your poll, click on it, and you can click on view poll results and see the responses in real time. In real time, you can see how parents are responding and giving you the feedback, all right, on a quick report. But you will first have to send it before you can see any results. So again, the step is to add it, add your questions. I'll do that again. Give it a name, all right. Make sure you have your date range set. Let's say this survey ends October 31st. You click next. You add your question. Determine if you want the parents to be able to choose more than one response, just one response, or if you want them to give you feedback via typing their answer in. Okay, you then want to go ahead and enter the response options that they'll have to choose from. Okay. Once you do that, you will simply save it. I'm going to close this one because we already have one ready. Okay. And let me find that poll again. And again, once you have it set up, search for it when you're ready to send it. You may not want to send it the same day that you set it up, but whenever you're ready for that poll, for parents to receive that poll and start completing it, that's when you would want to go in, find that survey and send it. You can send it at any time that you want. All right, so I'm going to find my survey. I'm going to find it by date created since I just did it. All right. I'm going to click on my survey, let's say classroom management. I see that blue paper plane and I'm going to simply send that poll, right? When I click that paper plane, that blue paper plane, this is the window that pops up. Notice that you have this information already in your body. You don't have to type anything out. It's going to go out like that and ready for the parent to view. You don't have to do anything else. But what you do need to do is you need to determine who you want that survey to go to. Remember, you created your roster. You have a roster already. All right, so I'm gonna send this to Mr. Seals' class. So I'm gonna find Mr. Seals' roster here. Okay. Want to click accept. And then everyone on that roster would be in here to send it to. It will populate this area. All right, now let's say that I don't want to necessarily send it to a roster of participants. Let's say that I want to send it to all of my participants in my whole organization. All I have to do is click that green and white button right there. Or let's say that I don't want to send it to everybody in my organization. I want to send it to just a couple people. I can simply go in here. I see these individuals are all a part of my organization. And I want, let's say, Shah to receive it. And I want Lorene to receive it. They will be the only people that will get that survey. Once I have determined who I want to send it to, I'll just simply click send message. Now you should have seen something pop up that says send SMS text. PimsPoints does allow you to send SMS text, but in this case with Louisiana, you're not going to have this feature here. You're not going to be able to send SMS text. The parents will just get the notification to their mobile app or an email to their participant portal. Okay. So that's how you set up a poll. All right. This is how you take action to a poll once you set it up, after you find it. And of course, you have to find the poll in order to send it. All right, we're gonna go back home. Let's say that you want to send a general message or alert. You're not trying to get feedback. You don't want the parents to sign anything. You're not wanting them to complete a task. You just have an announcement that you want to make and you want to send it out. Again, I know a lot of you guys use Remind 101 and all the different notification platforms out there. Again, I'm not asking you to do everything on here, but if you want to, you can send messages, a general message or an alert to a roster or individual or to all the people or participants in your organization. How do you send that message? You just simply click compose, name the message. All right, let's say your classroom need Kleenex and you want to let your parents know. All right, it's not an alert because if it was an alert, when it comes across to the parent, it's going to have a red exclamation mark in their message box. And we don't want the parent to panic because the classroom need Kleenex. So we just want this to be a general notification, right? Then we want to determine who it's going to go to. Of course, it's going to go to your participants. But which participants do you want to go to? How are you going to determine what participants? Just like with that poll, you either can send it to a roster of participants. In this case, I'm gonna find my name again. Let's see, right here. Okay. Or you can send it to everyone on your roster, or you can just send it to individuals in that organization that you want this message to go to. So in this case, if I'm a teacher and I have a classroom and we ran out of Kleenex, I'm going to send it to my roster of parents, right? But what if that message was an alert? Let's say it's an intruder. And again, you might have your own system for this. Okay, this would be a certain, this would be a message that I think we would want a certain reaction, right? So this would be an alert. Again, send it to a roster of people, send it to your total organization, or just send it to selected individuals that you want this to go to. Once you do that, go ahead and type your body out. All right, so please be on notice that there's an intruder in the building. All the students are out and we are investigating the situation, something like that, right? You can even make things red, you know, if you want to make it more intense, just use your toolbar up here. All right. And another thing I want to show you, let's say that you let's say I'm a teacher and I want to go a little bit beyond sending a task, right? Let's say I want to create a mini lesson in here, not even a mini lesson. Let's just say I want to create something for the task for the parents to do at home, like view a video on YouTube, right? I could send a message to them that will prompt them to view that video. Let me show you what I mean, and from a message. So let's say I have on here, please view the video with your child. It's definitely not an alert. It's a notification. Let's say I'm gonna send this to a whole roster of individuals again, right? I'm a teacher. I want to send it to my roster. I'll do something different this time. Let's say, all right. I'm going to accept. All right. Anyone who would have been on that roster, of course, it would have populated. This is just a dummy site. And it would have populated, or you could just select individuals, however way you want to do that. I'm going to change this message out. All right, please view the YouTube video about reading aloud. Something like that, right? And that's another important thing too. There is spell checking here, and however way you send this across the system is the way that the parents will receive it. Okay. Now I want to include that link. I just want to make that YouTube video my hot link, right? We want to make this the hot link if that's the case. Okay, I'll simply put the URL here, whatever it is. Click submit, and now my link is hot. Now my link is hot. So when they receive this message on their message board, they'll read it, click that YouTube video, and it'll take them directly to that video without taking them out of the PimsPoints app. Of course, it's not going to reward them points for anything, but at least you can send a message that will allow the parents to do something just within that message, and it won't take them out of PimsPoints. Okay, I've seen several teachers use this for sure because it's a really good way for parents to access things online that they want them to do immediately, you know, like if they send a message to them. So that's a cool feature right there. But there's several other things you can do with your message to make it unique or customizable. You can just play with it, that toolbar. Okay. So I showed you how to compose an alert type of message as well as a general message. I've shown you how to set up a poll, and I show you how to edit that poll, how to delete that poll. I showed you how to send that poll out, even where to go to view the poll results. Okay. The next thing I want to do is remember, talk about documents. We talked about documents before, but we were within an individual's file. But let's say that you want to send out a mass document, right, to all the parents in your district or all the parents in your school. You don't want to go into an individual's account and just send document to them. You will just simply click document setup. Okay. Once you click document setup, it's the same view that you saw earlier when we set that document up. You're going to select the file that you want to send. And this is a document that does not need a signature on it. All right. Let's do this one. Okay. Again, comments if you want to do that. You can customize the name if you want to change the name to it. The document is already attached and ready to send off. Again, this is not a document that we need signed. We just want the parent to verify that they received it with their signature and the date time stamped. Go down here to quick select, advanced select, or roster select. If you're trying to send this document to people on a roster, you can do that. Just select the roster. If you're trying to do a real thorough filtering of individuals or an individual that you want to send it to, you can do that by advanced select or quick select. Okay. So let's just say I'm going to send this to Alfred Hitchcock. I'm going to click select. And now we see that Alfred Hitchcock is ready so that we can assign the document to him. Again, if the document is pertaining to a certain person in that household, like let's say Alfred Hitchcock Jr., then this parent knows that, okay, this document is pertaining to my third grader, Alfred Hitchcock Jr., whatever. Once you do that, you just click assign documentation. Parent will receive the document, sign it, send it back, verify that they received it. Now, let's say that you want to send a document that requires a signature. Again, we're not in the individual's account. We are in a mass documentation area. Okay. If I want to do that, all I do, if that document has already been set up to be signed, sent and signed, I just need to find that document from within here. But if it hasn't, again, just click this white plus button inside the green box, and you can create that signature document. Same like we did earlier. Name it. Give it a description if you want, and go ahead and give that document a body. All right. So let's just say that this is a field trip form. Matter of fact, I'll put that. EBR field trip. Okay. Give it a description if you want to, and then give it the body. Okay, something simple. We are going on a field trip tomorrow. Please sign to approve your child to go. Right? Again, you can put your placeholders for the participant's full name. Put your cursor where you want it to go. Click on the placeholder. Let's say that we just want the demographic information, address, phone number on that document. And then we want our placeholders for the signature and the date stamped. Again, I'm going to click the table. Going to make just one row. And again, you can design these however way you want. I'm just showing you how to set that up. I want 2 columns, one for signature, one for date. I don't really want to see any borders. I want to be clear. And then I'm going to click OK. Now I'm ready to input my signature image, and I'm ready to input my signature date. Now I can go ahead and save that document. So I'm going to save it. Okay. And it's ready. It's already ready. And it's set up in my library of documents. I don't have to do it again. All right. So from within there, all I have to do is determine who I want to send it to. I want to send it to Troy Blaine. I want to send it to David Clowney, Christy Coleman, and whatnot. Right. I can use my filters here. I can even use advanced select. I can even use roster select. So in this case, it may be a roster that that I need to select so they only go to those parents in my classroom. I just simply find that roster. Mr. Seals class, I'm going to select that roster. And now I'm going to populate it with only the people in my classroom. And those people will receive this. If I want to select the members of the household, I can. It's no big deal if you don't, right? Once I do that, I'm just going to simply assign the documentation. I'm going to assign that document to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. They'll sign, send it back. I'll have that document. They'll get points. Everybody's happy. And the child gets to go on a field trip, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, you didn't have to dig in a child's backpack and pull out a real raggedy, dirty field trip form, you know, which is the case a lot. You don't have to rely on a first, second, or third grader remembering to give it to you or anything like that. It goes from you to the parent back to you. All right, let's go back home. So we've composed messages, alerts, general messages. We've set up polls to go out. We've set up a mass document not from within a person's account. Now I'm going to show you a task feature. So again, if I'm a teacher, I would love this. I would have loved this when I was teaching 4th grade or 5th or 3rd grade. When I was in the classroom, I would have loved it. If I could have sent a task to my parents that was aligned with the state standards, I would have used that up, because that would have been a really good way. That would have been an alternative way or an additional way for me to assign homework, right? Something like that, and also know that it was done. So I can simply, how to do that, how to send a task or set up a task to share on your blue bar right here, dashboard, click task. Once you click task, you see a chart where you can take actions with that task, view details, or assign. You can go ahead and determine the grade level from the lowest to highest, or you can do the domain, standard number, or even the task description, or you can search all columns for a particular group of tasks. So let's just say that I put 3rd. Let's say, or you can go to the bottom of the table, of course, and use those cells as well. Let's say that I want to view all the 3rd grade learning tasks in math. All right. And now let me say that the learning tasks are only for math and reading language arts, not social studies, not science. We only put them in here for math and reading language arts. All right, I'm going to go and I'm going to look for the standard that we are on at that particular time of the school year. We're on standard 3 MDB4, right? I can view details of that particular task. Okay. On your live site, it will show how many points that task is worth. It will also, you'll also be able to see if there's any graphics or whatnot that go along with that task, you'll be able to see that as well. Now that I know what the details are and all the other good stuff, then I'm ready to assign that task to my participants. I'm going to click assign. All right. I'm going to choose my participant roster. All right. I'm going to type, let's see if we can find my roster. Let's go. We got Mr. Shaw's class. Let's see if we can find mine. Okay, so let's do this one. So we have Ms. Hunter's class. We want to accept. And then we're going to assign. We're going to assign. All right. So that quick, I just assigned some learning tasks to a household. They'll receive that. The parents will, they'll view the standard number. They'll view a description of it. They'll be able to complete it. And they'll receive points. Okay, so let's see what that looked like. I believe I can do that on here. Let's see, do I have that set up? Yeah, we do. Okay, so here's a view. I'm gonna drag these things over. Okay, this gives you an idea of what the parent will see on their device, right? Assuming that this is a parent. This parent obviously has 1, 2, 3 children. All right, and maybe a fourth one because someone's in algebra 2, right? So I have learning tasks for all my children at every grade level in my household, right? Notice that they'll be able to see the points that task is worth, who that they'll be able to see the grade, the standard, the name of the student that is associated with, as well as the description, even the standard number, even that standard number, right? So when they click one of these tasks, let's look at what they'll see. So let's say we clicked on the 5th grade learning task, had to do with number and operations in base 10. All right, they'll get a description of that standard. They'll get the activity, right? If they click this hint button, it will give them, actually it's answer, it's not hint. On the device, on the updated app, it actually says answer. They'll click answer and it will show them the answer to that. Now our goal is, the point is not for the parent and student to get it right or wrong. The point is so that the parent becomes knowledgeable and aware of what that child is working on and the details of those standards so that they can take control, some kind of control of that, and maybe do a Google search by putting in that standard number or that standard description and find some things in addition to this learning task that will help the child master that particular standard. Once that parent, so the parent doesn't get any points for clicking answer. They don't get points for completing that task because the task isn't all the way complete yet. So once they click complete task, and pull another shot up for you. Oh, let me show you this one as well. Actually, before we do that. So let's say that person did click answer. And it showed them the outcome that should have been expected, right? They'll click complete task. Once they click complete task, I thought I had a survey. They would then have to complete a survey. And don't think I have one available to show you guys. But there's a simple survey that they'll take. I think it's 3 or 4 questions. They'll complete that survey, submit the survey. The questions to that survey has to do with how well they feel like their child did, or how they felt about that particular task, just to give us some feedback on the tasks that are being put in here and how the task went. Once they submit that survey, then PimsPoints will reward them the point that that particular task is valued at. That's how they get their points, by giving us the feedback. But what's exciting here is we know for a fact that the parent is aware of not only a task that the student can do along with the parent, but the standard that child is working on and a description of that standard. I think if you ask a parent right now, hey, what standard is your child working on right now? Do you know? They probably say no. And if you ask them, can you find, do you have a place where you can go find what standard that child is working on right now quickly? They'll probably say no. They probably won't even know where to look. But with PimsPoints, they'll be able to go right to their task and see what standards that their student is working on, and tell you down to the standard number. Okay. And that's simply it. That's all they wait. It's nothing hard, nothing else to that, right? So I'm gonna go back to my home screen. I've shown you guys how to compose messages, how to set up and send a poll, how to set up and send documents, how to assign learning tasks. We've also talked about rewards and how you can access those to create your coupons. All right, this message history button is sort of like a report. If we click that, it will give you a report on whether or not a parent actually read or opened that message up, excuse me. So for example, let me scroll up a little bit. So this would be the recipient, right? This would be the parent. The sender would be the administrative person that sent the message. The subject of the message is defined right here, if there is, okay? The date that it was sent by by the sender. Right here where it says date read, what populates right there is the date that parent actually clicked that particular message, whether it was a poll, whether it was a document, whether it's a task. Once they click that, PimsPoints is going to record that date, because it's telling, that parent is telling PimsPoints, hey, if they didn't read it, they definitely clicked the button and they opened that piece of information up, that message up. It's going to also tell you the message type, whether it was a poll, a document, opportunity is a session or activity. And if they read it, again, it's going to say yes if you have a date read. There's a date that if they actually open that piece of information, that message up, it will say read, that parent read that message, that particular message, right? Going to go back home, and we're almost to the end. Now, one thing, and you probably noticed that we didn't talk about, is activities and sessions. How do we let parents know that there are sessions that they can register for? How do we set those activities and sessions up? Where do we go at in PimsPoints to do that? If I am a parent engagement coordinator at the LEA level, right? I might have a district-wide workshop, and I want all the parents in the district to know about my workshop. I want them all to register for my workshop. And I want to be able to go, into PimsPoints and see who's registering, right? In real time. Okay, how would you do that? If I was the LEA, if I was a classroom teacher and I wanted to use this feature because we're having a classroom Christmas play, and I want to send out this opportunity to all the parents to register to attend. All right, how do we do that? What you would do is we're going to go from home, if you're not on home, and we're going to go to programs. We're going to go to programs, We're going to then go to manage programs. And by the way, everyone, you can bookmark these individual pages to get there quickly. For example, we're going to activities. I can just bookmark that activities page and it'll take me right to it, right? So you have your 4 types of programs we talked about, which you don't have to worry about. Those will be in there. No matter, they're there by default. All you have to worry about is connecting your activities and your sessions to those, to one of those 4 types of programs. So the first thing you would want to do, let's say that let's deal with the LEA district coordinator who wants to have a workshop for everyone in the district, right? What that individual is going to do is they're going to go to, again, they're going to go to programs, manage programs. It's going to take them to this activity screen. They're going to click add an activity. So the first thing we want to do is connect that activity or associate that activity to a specific program type. So let's say that this is a, let's say again, this is a workshop training. We'll name it. So let's say that this is called the Family Health Information. All right, district-wide. That's what this, so anything that has to do with family's health, any session that has to do with, that is connected with the health of a family, we can put all of those sessions underneath this activity. So now we have that activity set up, right? We can just put a description if we want to. We're going to save that activity. I just want to search for it. Again, in that search all column box, we're going to see if we can find that. And here we go. The Family Health Information. All right. These are workshops and trainings that have to do with family's health. Now that I have that activity set up, now I need to choose the dates and times and specific specific session names that we want to create or set up under this type of activity. So it's 2 ways to do that. One way is you can find the activity. Once you find the activity that you want to add a session to, click sessions. And by the way, once that activity is set up, you can edit that session. You can delete the session. You can view a quick details of it. Or you can click sessions and it will take you to a sessions calendar. It'll take you to a sessions calendar. Okay, notice there's nothing on your calendar, right? We want some sessions on that calendar that have to do with family health informationals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add workshops. I'm going to find the activity, the family health informational. This is going to be on let's just say dental hygiene. Practices. So in this session, parents are going to learn how children can keep their teeth healthy, what type of foods they need to eat to keep their teeth healthy, what type of toothbrush they probably need to keep their teeth healthy. Maybe even the people who are going to have this session will have toothbrush and dentists and toothpaste at the session, right? Everything is centered around, in this particular case, family health, and it's a workshop training, okay? If it's time-based, that just means it has a beginning and end time, which workshops normally do. It's going to start at a certain time and end at a certain time. So I'm just going to put yes. And if you say no, that's fine too. It's no big deal for PimsPoints. There's nothing going to change about that, all right? But something that's not time-based maybe would be a fair, a school fair or something like that. Doesn't have a real defined end time. It could go all day, right? But in this case, it's a workshop. It has a defined end time. We also want to give these sessions a range. So maybe there's more than one session. You know, maybe there's 5 sessions that will be made available for parents to register for. You know, they can't make it to session A. They may be able to make it to Session B, if they can't make it to session B, they may be able to make it to a session C that start at a certain time, right? So it's not going to happen on just one day in this case. If we do want it to happen, if it is going to just happen to be one session, that means it's only going to happen one time on one day, right? But in this case, we want to give it a range. Let's say there's going to be several sessions between October 21st and October 31st. Again, we didn't tell PimsPoints which days. We just gave PimsPoints a range. So at some point, we're going to have to tell PimsPoints, well, this is going to happen on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? So until then, let's continue. The next thing you want to do is you want to give that session a start time and an end time. Let's say it starts at 9 a.m. and let's say it ends at 11 a.m. It's 2 hours. The maximum enrollment. We don't necessarily do anything with this data yet. So in the future, you'll be able to put a number in here. Let's say that you only have 25 spots for enrollment, and then the max out. It won't allow anyone to register or enroll anymore, right? And then they'll have a counter knowing that, hey, look, it's only one more spot left. Right now, we don't do anything with that data. So it's okay if you don't put anything in there. But remember, we talked about that location. Let's say that this particular workshop is not happening at the school. It's happening somewhere else. If you don't have that location set up, the parents are not going to know where to go. And even if they did know where to go or where it's going to be held at, if they don't know the directions or anything like that, then they're not going to be able to click that location finder and be able to be navigated to the proper place for that session or where the session will be held at. So I'm going to identify the location. Let's see. Let's say that this is going to happen at the Institute of Community Service. Okay. Now, initial cost. Let's say that as the LEA district-wide as the district-wide parent engagement coordinator, you've been given a budget. The district has given you $500 for every session that you have for this particular type of activity. And let's say that your budget is $50 per session to spend on food and drinks and different things like that, whatever. You can put in the cost of that session, right? And PimsPoints will then account for the money that's being spent per session. Well, where's it taking the money from? How does it know? How does PimsPoints know what pot? You know, maybe I have a federal program budget of, like I said, $500. How would PimsPoints know to take that $50 from that $500? Well, you just set up that funding source in PimsPoints, and I'll show you how to do that after this. So let's say that I have all these funding sources, and that $50 is going to come out of this Title V or Title IV funding source. Okay. I also want to jump from initial cost to that funding source so you can see the connection. I'll talk about how to set up a funding source shortly. So I'm going to go back up to room name. Let's say that's going to happen in room 112. Now, private event versus public. Now, if this session is only for, let's say, my parent council members, or let's say it's just for the roster, just for parents in my classroom, or let's say it's just for parents at my school, right? And I don't want anyone else in the district to get this particular opportunity message. Then I would set that to private until I tell PimsPoints, hey, send this to a roster of people or send this to an individual or something like that. And I'll show you about that. So for right now, let's just say it's public, which means that it's not being held in limbo until you tell PimsPoints who to send it to. Once you click save, after you select your specific days, it's going out. And it's going to go out to everyone that has been approved to have an account. So again, if you're an LEA district-wide person, you want every parent that has a PimsPoints account to know about this huge opportunity to learn about dental hygiene. Don't put this on private, right? Just put no, and that means it's going to go out to everyone. Now, let's say that after the session is over, you want the parents to complete a survey of how well that session went. Well, you can assign a survey to this particular session, but that survey has to be completed first, just like the location has to be set up in PimsPoints first in order to associate anything. If that poll that you want to tag or assign to this session, if you haven't created it already, you're not going to see it in this list. Okay. PimsPoints is unique it's unique in a way, in such a way that you can control whether or not you want parents to earn points for attending that survey if they completed the survey, if they attended that session, unless they complete a poll. All right. So let's say that you don't want, PimsPoints will assign parents points for attending an event. But let's say that you don't want them to get points just for coming to that dental hygiene workshop, right? You want to make sure that they complete that survey. Well, you can tell PimsPoints, hey, look, I want the parents to be required to complete the survey before they see the points, or before they get points for being in attendance, before they receive points for attending, right? Or you can just say, no, it doesn't matter. I'm just glad that they attended. If they take the survey, fine. If they don't take the survey, fine. Either way, they'll get their points. Okay. Here, you want to give this a description, and it is required. And to me, I think this is the most important part of creating an opportunity. We call these opportunities because it's opportunity for parents to attend something. I think this is the most important part because this is the body, this is your message. Parents are going to read this descriptor. And I think this is what gets parents either excited or interested in registering for this particular opportunity or session. So let's just say, hey, parents, do you want about how you can help your child maintain a healthy as well as, let's just say, they could receive different products, receive free dental products. So, hey, parents, do you want your child, hey, parents, do you want to learn more about how you can help your child maintain healthy gums and teeth, as well as receive free dental products? Well, please attend this very informative session. Period. And then I'll just put something in here extra for them to get excited about. Earn PIMS points for attending. All right, so that's my message. I think if I was a parent, I would be excited about learning something new, maybe for me, on how I can keep little LaVelle teeth clean and his gums healthy, and get some maybe toothbrushes and toothpaste for him to take home or whatnot, and earn PIMS points for being engaged. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for everybody, right? If there's a facilitator, you can go ahead and identify the facilitator for that session. We already talked about the funding source. Assigned outcomes, if there's any type of outcomes you want, it's optional. It's not going to prevent you from sending this opportunity message. Now, if your administrator tells you, hey, look, anytime you create a session, I want to be notified. You can just simply, because they'll be set up as an administrator and they'll be in a drop list, you can just select their name We don't have any administrators in here, but if you did, you know, as users, like your principal, you'll be able to select their name from a list right here and tag them to this, and they'll get an email with a description of the session, who created it, and now they're in the know as well. They know what's going across the system. Now, if I click Save Session, notice it didn't save. And you guys are probably thinking, well, I know why it didn't save. It didn't save because you only gave it a range. You didn't tell PimsPoints what days this particular workshop was going to occur. So that's what I got to do. So now I'm going to go to Schedule, this tab right here, Schedule Date Setup. These are the scheduled days that this will actually happen, the specific days. So here's the range. Matter of fact, let's make this table bigger. Okay, here are all the days within that range. Now I can determine which days that this session is going to happen. Let's say this is going to be on, and I can filter. Let's say that these days are going to happen only on the Mondays in that range. I'm gonna click that, add session. Let's say that these sessions will also happen on Wednesdays within that range. Type Wednesday in that search column, add it, okay? Or I can just go through and select. But if you have a huge range, you might want to just do some type of filter. All right, so I'm just going to select the days in which I think I want this to happen. So I want Mondays, I want Wednesdays, and every Friday, well, the Fridays within the range, parents will be able to choose from. Some parents may not be able to make it this Friday or this Wednesday or this Monday, but they'll be able to register for this Friday. Okay. Once I select my my specific days within that range and dates, I'm going to then add those scheduled days to the session. If I want to edit the time, let's say that on Fridays it may happen at 9:30, and I just want to distinguish that in this list, I can just simply go here and put 9:30. All right, once I have my scheduled days set up, I can then save the sessions. Okay. And once I save my sessions, they populate my calendar. So on the administrative end, I see some sessions happening in October. On the parents' end, they'll be able to see the sessions and be able to register for the sessions that best fits their schedule and their need and their interest. Okay. Now, here's the cool part. Once that session is created, I can click on any of these sessions, but before I click on it, I'm going to hover my mouse over this session. I want you guys to see something. It gives you just some details of that session, like the starting, like the time the session begins and ends. But one thing I want you to notice in particular is that scheduled day code. Let's say that you have parents that, let's say you had a parent that came to the session, but they didn't have a device or they didn't, you know, they forgot to maybe even let you know that they were there. I don't know. Let's say the situation that their attendance was not recorded, but they were there. You can give that parent that scheduled day code, that 8077 number. You can give them that code. They can take that code and go to their mobile app or go to the participant portal, enter that scheduled day code. A signature pad will pop up. They'll sign, submit, and you'll have their name. They'll get credit for that attendance. Their name will then go onto that roster, right? And you have their attendance. So now let's click on a session. Let's actually click on that session. Once you click on that session, you're within that session's record, right? You're in that account for that session. You can edit the session if you want to, simply by clicking edit. It's the same view that you saw when you was configuring it initially. You can do a quick detail glimpse of it. Remember I was telling you about session costs? You can see that accounting taking place here in real time. You can see all that stuff and keep up with your spending per session. Even session participation, in this case, there's no participation because it hasn't happened yet. No one has went, right? But you can do a quick glance at how the participation looked for that session from within that session's record. You can delete the session, but you can only delete that session if there's no data associated with it, like attendance. If there's attendance associated with it, you're not going to be able to delete it. All right. You can assign a roster to that session or generate a roster for that session. If I click auto generate, it actually generated a roster. Now, in real time, as people are registering, if I click this button, it'll list all the people who have already started registering. And it's a really cool feature because once you send this thing out in real time, you'll see, and they register fast, right? And you'll know who's coming, how many people coming. Now you can make plans, you know, based on those numbers, and you're getting it quick. Again, you can go to Calendarly or something like that and do the same thing, but then you're also gonna have to go to SurveyMonkey and do something. Or then you're gonna have to go to another area for documents and do that. You don't have nowhere to go to do tasks, right? Again, everything is all in the same location, right? If you want to add a roster to this session, you can simply do that by going down here to all these rosters that has been created, and you can associate or assign another roster to this. Okay. Just simply select the roster and click add. Right. And again, that roster is pre-generated every time you create a session. You can pre-generate that roster. It's already created for you. All right, messages. Now, remember we talked about private versus public, right? Well, if you said that that session was private, let's just go back to that just so I just want you guys to be aware of what we're talking about. Again, let's say that that message was set to private. It is private, right? Well, if that session is private, PimsPoints is not going to notify anybody about it. It's just recorded in PimsPoints, and PimsPoints is just saying, hey, look, whenever you're ready to notify a roster of people or an individual or selected people, let me know, right? So again, I'm going to save it. I don't want to necessarily let anyone know that I made a edit to the session. But I want to send this out. Now I want to send that session out. Again, from within that, in that session, with that particular session, I can then go and click that session, and now I'm ready to send. I'm going to select the participants that I want to receive this message by roster, okay? Or everybody, or selected individuals. Notice that I don't have to do anything with the body. It's already populated with information and details. And then I'm going to simply click send message. Now that particular session that we identified as being private will go out, but to only the people that I wanted it to go out to because it was private. Okay. On this particular session, we can also edit that session's date. Let's say that something happened, we can change that the date on that. We can do that, send it out to the people, let them know that the date has changed. You can also view that particular session's cost, and that will be populated here. Starting balance, total funding. The accounting is pretty cool if you are really trying to be if you're really trying to keep up with how much money you're spending every time you have some type of activity or session. And there's money that's been allotted for it. Right? You can't remove the date if there's data associated with it. You can't send a reminder via SMS text because Louisiana doesn't have that feature here. Okay, so that wouldn't work. Right? So again, what I've done is I've shown you how to navigate PimsPoints to set up activities and sessions. You go to programs, manage programs. Again, you can bookmark these pages. I want to set up an activity. And again, you don't have to set up an activity if you know you have sessions that are related to that one type of activity. You don't have to keep setting up the activity, just group those sessions under that activity. Okay. Once I have my activity set up, then I can associate sessions to it. I can either find the activity from within the activities table and then go to sessions. Okay. Or I can just go straight to the sessions calendar simply by going to menu and scrolling down to sessions. Okay. This is information that people have put in. Scrolling down to sessions. Okay. If I want to add a session, click add, and then I just fill out the information. Remember, if it's private, it's not going to go out. You have to send it from within that particular session on that calendar. If it's not private, once I click save after I chose the specific days and dates, it's going to go out to everyone that has an account, an approved account. Right? Now, I just want to double back and I want to show you guys where you would set that funding source up. From my home screen, if I want to set up a funding source, you know, you don't have to, but if I wanted to, okay, from my home screen, I would simply go to programs. I will click on funding sources. And here I have some pots that have funds in it that monies is being taken away from every time I assign a specific amount of money that I'm going to spend for a session. All right, if I don't see my funding source and I need to create one, I'm simply going to click this green and white add button, and I can simply name that funding source. Okay. Tag it. Okay, add the program period that we want that funding source to go towards. Let's say we want to go towards 2021, 2022. And then the total amount that we want to put in that pot. So let's say it's $500 in that pot. And then we're going to save that funding source. And of course, you can look for it here. So here's Title III. We got $500 in there. The organization associated with is Louisiana Department of Education. Once you set up that funding source, you can edit, delete, or view details of that funding source. Okay. So I know it's a good chunk of information that you guys are getting, and I know that you guys will want to practice. So this demo site will be available to you all to practice on. After this session here and on into the year, you guys can just go on there and practice. Then, of course, your live site will be ready on Monday. Okay, but until then, practice away on it. It doesn't matter how much information you put in there. I wouldn't advise you put any real data in there, like real addresses and things. Just put fake stuff in there. It's just a practice site. Now, because it is a lot of information, I'm sure a lot of stuff wasn't retained, but we have created an outstanding support help desk for you. It's embedded within the administrative portal. It's complete with videos. It's complete with what do you call them? It's complete with instructions, scripted instructions, all right, that are annotated. Thanks, Fred, that are annotated, right? Real detail, right? Even if you never came to this training, if you go to that support desk and you say, how do I create a poll? It's going to lay it out for you, right? The support button is right here at the top, at the bottom left of your screen. If I click on that support button, and let's say that I want to, like I said, I forgot how to create a poll. So I can just type poll in, or I can be more specific. How do I create a poll? Okay. There you go. The bot tells me everything that I need to do. I have a video here. I can view the video.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to send notification of a new poll.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. I just want you guys to see. So you have a video to watch. You can scroll down and you have a script. You can even follow the script if you want to do it that way. Okay. Completely annotated for you guys. So if you missed anything today, it's no excuse not to use it. This support desk that we built for the state of Louisiana is amazing. I have to say so myself. It's really, really, really good. If I had never came to a PimsPoints training and there's things that I want to do, creating documents, sending polls, notifying parents of tasks, all I got to do is put in that button. It's going to show me exactly what to do. We're also sending you, oh yeah, so you'll also get the link to this training. You get a link to the recording of this training as well. So you'll be able to go back and look at that. You'll also get the this PowerPoint will also be in your toolkit as well. We've created a toolkit for you guys, and I'm about to show you that. It's going to be complete with things that you can use to help you support your endeavor to get merchants involved. It's going to have tools in there that you can use to get parents interested and informed and knowledgeable. Administrators, all kind of stuff is in there for you to use. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the site, actually close this, and I want to show you the toolkit that we have created for you. By the way, your live site will be ldoe.pimspoints.com, which is ready. It's actually the site, you can actually go to it, but you're not going to be able to log in yet, right? So again, just practice on your demo site. The toolkit will have all kind of stuff in there. You'll be able to see it when you get it, but I do want to just bring that up so you guys can see some of these things. Okay. The explainer video I was telling you about is in here. You also have an explainer video for merchants. I'm going to try to play both of them for you now. Let's see if I can get this over here. I don't think it's, yes it is, yay. Let's see. Okay. This is the video that didn't play earlier. We're going to play this one, and then I'm going to play you an explainer video for merchants. So you don't have to be, you can actually email these explainers to people that you think will be interested without saying much, but that video says a whole lot. You'll see here in a second. So this one would be an explainer video that you probably want to send out to all your parents to get them knowledgeable and interested.
Today's world has seen a growing generation of students not interested in studying or gaining information. They are practically losing interest in schooling and educational activities. And the reason can be linked to the busy lifestyles and hectic schedules of 21st century parents. which makes them find it really hard to involve themselves in school plans and programs. But the fact remains that the active and ongoing participation of a parent in the educational process of their child has a positive impact on grades, test scores, behavior at home and school, social skills, emotional development, and so much more. And parents who are not interested in the academic life of their kids are simply enhancing school failures. When parents and families are engaged with their children's education, everyone benefits, including the teachers and principals who yet are struggling to get parents more involved in school activities. Well, they do not have to struggle again. Introducing PimsPoints, our web-based and mobile app communication and data management platform that helps to drive parents' engagement with less hassle. Never again would kids' education suffer negligence with PimsPoints. Plus, PimsPoints also rewards participants for being engaged. Parents can earn points by providing feedback, completing polls or surveys, signing docs, attending a school event or meeting, completing a learning task like assisting with homework, and these points can be exchanged for valuable coupons sponsored by local businesses or brands. It's a win-win for parents, schools, and the business communities who also can advertise their products and services through our portal. And the ultimate winners are the kids. Be engaged, stay engaged.
Be engaged, stay engaged. Now, so that was an explainer video that you can share with your business community. Okay, I want to show you. I'm sorry, that's a video you can share with your parents and other administrators, even community partners that not necessarily business partners, but maybe even nonprofits and things like that that you work with. Okay, I want to now show you an explainer video that you can share with your merchant partners. See if this will play for me. Like this one don't want to play for me either. It'll play for you guys. I don't know why it's not playing on this computer that I'm on, but it is definitely there available for you guys to see. I really want you guys to see this, but you guys will get this toolkit. You'll be able to play this on your device. And it's a really, really, really good explainer video. It's less than a minute and 30 seconds. But it says a whole lot. It even gives the merchant a step-by-step play on where to go, how to set up, things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna just stop this one. I apologize. It's not the video. It has to be the computer that I'm on. I'm not sure. But you guys will have this. Right, so let me close this out. All right, so that actually is the end of the conclusion of my tale of the training. We would really appreciate it if you guys complete a survey for us, give us some feedback. We want to be better. We want to get you guys feedback so that we can possibly do some things different that you guys maybe suggest or whatnot. So please use your cell phone. Take a picture of this QR code, complete the survey for us, submit it, and hopefully that will help us be even better as a service provider for the state of Louisiana. And there's one more thing I want you guys to get. If you if your district needs further additional training, a more intimate, training setting, we can do that for you. You would just need to email us. If Fred, you can put the support@PimsPoints.com in the chat, and you can just email us and we'll respond immediately. Or you can go to www.PimsPoints.com and go to the contact, click contact, and you can fill out a form and put what you are needing in there. All right. So I hope that we provided a good training. I know it was a lot in a short period of time, But again, let us know if we could be of any further help to you all. And we thank you.
Second.